Okay, it seems like I'm live, but I'm not seeing anything on the screen. Hello? Here it comes. Okay. What's up, guys? Took me a second. Ads inserted. I noticed last time I wasn't monetized when I was streaming, so now I am. Huh?
I think I'm low, but maybe I'm considered.
You? Oh. Guys, let me know. I'm having a lot of audio issues. Let me pop out the chat to see, and I gotta share this too. Share. Beep. Yeah, right. That's all the noises from my computer. Yeah, I can't. Sorry, guys, I can't do anything about it. I've been trying over and over and over again to get rid of that background noise. It almost sounds like I'm picking up noise from another place. Even if I turn off the mic, which I'm going to do now so you guys can hear, I turn off the mic, it still happens. Watch. Yeah, see, that was with the mic off. So if I turn off the mic,
it's even louder with the mic.
yeah, see, it's even louder with the mic off. So what could possibly be causing that? I have no idea. There's no way for me to fix it. I've tried every different mics. It has to be my computer, but I have no idea how to fix that. If anybody has an idea, please let me know. But I have no idea to deal with this, right? I even this is a regular headset mic, but I have a Blue Yeti too that's supposed to be super high quality, but it has the same problem. So I don't know. I guess it's the computer, but I don't know what could possibly make the computer do that and create this sound on a mic. I've disabled every other input thing, so I have no idea what it could be. The only thing enabled right now is the microphone, so there shouldn't be any other sound, but I don't know. It's kind of annoying and frustrating because I've had this problem for a while and always have to do some sort of trickery or something to make it work, and I don't know why I have to do that, right? Like a microphone should just work on a computer. Like, why do I have to mess around with it?
Yeah.
And it's not like noise suppression or anything, because that noise, even with the mic off, it comes through. So it has nothing to do with the mic picking up noise. There has to be an extra sound that's coming through without the mic. There's like 2 mics or something. But I've disabled everything else. I'm streaming again today. See if these guys want to come on, but still having mic issues. I'm having mic issues. Please help. Send help, I should say. In the tweet, send help. There we go. Please send help. Okay. Now let's see what I can do. It's kind of crazy, right? Like I can't even shut. Like imagine I played the video that I have on here to play while I play this game, and even if I sit here quiet, you're still gonna hear the sound. Even if I turn off the mic right here with the switch that turns it off, you're still gonna hear the sound. So it's like what can be done, right? Like it doesn't make any sense. I have to literally mute the mic on the OBS for it to not pick up that sound, right? So it's very annoying. Let me pop out the chat. I just wish I knew what the issue was and like how that is even possible, because it feels like it's almost impossible for their. Oh, Stephen Michael Davis at work. That's okay though. And it's Billy was on Twitter, and he's like looking at somebody called it a chicken burger for lunch, and it's like a burger, but it's got a breaded chicken breast inside. And it's like, that's not a burger. A burger doesn't have breaded meat, first off, and secondly, a breaded is ground meat. So if it's a chicken burger, it would be a ground chicken patty, right? Like, but there's a chicken breast that's been breaded. That's a chicken sandwich. That's a totally different thing. So we're like, he's like, please, Britt, stop calling these chicken burgers. They're not chicken burgers. Let me open up the chat. I don't got anybody in the chat anyway, but
Well, it wasn't like this yesterday. You know, like there was some of that clicking noise,
mm-hmm.
but it wasn't the sounding like we're underwater noise.
Yeah, it's because
It's,
I don't know. I don't know what to do with it anymore. Everything I try seems to, I don't know. It works for a bit and then it just gets worse.
what about that other program that you had open yesterday? That
Yeah, I'm not very good at knowing how to use that. So it's like unless somebody wants to help me with like some presets or something. Here's I'm deleting all the filters. What does it sound like now?
hang on.
Except if I delete the filters, then you guys can't hear me very loudly, it seems
You sound a little lower if you
like.
can boost
Yeah,
you, but that
it's
sound isn't as bad.
impossible. I'm all
But
the way cranked up as loud as I can be, and if I crank it up any louder,
actually,
then
that
that
might
noise
be a
comes
bit
back.
better.
Is it better?
I think so. I mean, it's decent than what
Yeah.
it was before.
But I'm just gonna be low, so you're probably not gonna hear me over the video I'm playing. If anybody has any solutions, let me know. It's impossible. Like I haven't seemed to be able to find a solution. I've looked up to download the Realtek Manager audio manager, and I tried downloading that straight from the Realtek website, and it's only 258 megabytes, but it takes 2 hours to download for some reason. And my internet speed's fine, so it can't be because of that. I guess they just cap how quick you can download from them, which is bullshit. So I got to deal with that, right? So I'm still waiting on that. It's gonna take 2 hours to download. But I tried messing with everything I could on my computer, the Dell audio thing, device thing, and manager, and that doesn't do much. So no matter what I do, that sound still keeps coming through. So I don't know. Like I said, if anybody has any solutions for me, let me know. But as of this moment, there are no solutions, and this is what I have to deal with. So yeah,
It is what it is.
eras what eras. I'm just screwed on that. Okay, let's play this. I guess I just won't talk much. So you can't even hear me.
No, I think you'll be able to. Let me a second. Let me hear it. Not as much. Are you able to turn down that video?
Yeah. Is it too loud though? Because I'm gonna turn it down, but it's gonna be too loud. That's the problem. Is if I put my mic loud over the volume of the video, then you can't hear me. But if I put the volume up too loud on the video, then yeah, you can't hear me. And if the vice versa, you can't. The video is just gonna be too low, and everybody's like, turn it up. I have to crank my video all the way up for you to be able to hear anything, right? So I guess I'm just gonna have to. I'm just gonna play the video, guys. I guess I'm not gonna talk much. I guess I have to mute the video every time I have to talk. There's literally no other way around this, unless somebody can figure out a way to help me out. But I feel like there's no other way around this. I've been messing with this for months. I feel like it's just the computer. I really don't know what else can be done at this point.
Yeah.
I'm pretty much given up and have no other options. Yeah, what's another interesting thing is this doesn't happen as much as Discord because Discord has filters for this. But is there a way I can get my own sound from Discord onto OBS? Because I can get everyone else's, but how do you get your own?
Mm-hmm.
Because your own mic doesn't play back to you on Discord, right? So when you guys come through, I'm recording you from Discord. But when you guys hear me through Discord, you don't hear that noise, right? Because Discord filters that out. So how can I get that same filter from Discord to work on here? I don't know. It's so weird that I can't even do that, anything about it. I don't understand the concept of why. Like, what is causing that? I don't know.
Pro-life GOP lawmakers in the House decided to vote against legislation that would actually help people who are grappling with the baby formula shortage in the country as we speak.
And so the House voted 414-9 to approve a measure that would allow more formula to be purchased with money from a federal program that aids low-income women, infants, and children. And so this is supposed to essentially help change that so other baby formulas are accessible to women who are in need of WIC or on the WIC program.
Now the no votes.
This is important. The people who voted no, cast by GOP representatives
Andy Biggs, Lauren Boebert, Thomas Massey, Clay Higgins, Matt Gaetz, Chip Roy, Paul Gosar, Louis Gohmert, and Marjorie Greene.
The bill now goes for a vote in the Senate. Hopefully no one blocks it there, but you never know. But I named those Republican lawmakers because notably some of them have been
vociferous
in trying to destroy and dismantle reproductive rights for women in this country under the guise of we want to protect babies' lives. Proof is in the pudding, you know.
Proof is in the pudding.
Ladies and gentlemen, they don't care about lives. They care about control. They care about power. That's what the abortion debate is really about.
Not surprising to see those 9 names on there. But to me, one of the most interesting parts is all of these guys, all the Republicans, including those guys, out there doing talking points about the shortage right before the bill. And we covered it. It's been, the last week or so. They're all out there going, "Can you believe Biden isn't doing anything? The Democrats aren't doing anything. This isn't America first. Oh my God, the babies." And so the Democrats go, "Okay, great. We'll pass these 2 bills and then we'll get them aid and benefit as soon as we can."
And they go, "No, I don't want
it." Of course.
Wait, what happened? I thought you wanted them to do something. And this is 2 things that would directly help. Well, no, I don't want to help Democrats. I'd rather have the babies die than help Democrats. Well, no, I don't want to help Democrats.
I'd rather have the babies die than help Democrats. Rather have the babies die than help Democrats. Oh my God, the babies.
Why are we giving Abbott goodies? They're the ones who caused the problem in the first place. They try to avoid regulations, and then because of that, they had safety problems, and their baby formula killed 2 babies. But do you see any of the hard right-wing Republicans talking about
this son of a bitch company killed babies? You see, this is the corporations that are evil and problematic.
No, they're like,
"Oh, Disney likes gay people and black people. Disney's a problem."
Yeah.
These guys kill babies. You guys are supposed to be pro-life. No.
Oh my God, the babies.
No, there isn't a single bill that those guys would vote yes on because they hate Democrats and they don't care about the country. They don't care about their voters at all. Oh, you can't feed your baby. I hate Democrats way more than I like your baby. That's basically Matt Gaetz and Marjorie Greene's slogans. So now, why did most of the Republicans vote no on the other bill?
Well, they wanted to be able to say that they did something about the baby shortage, so they vote yes on one of the bills. But they also want to say that they oppose the Biden administration, so they vote no on the second bill.
Right?
But the Republicans don't want businesses regulated. They don't mind the dead babies as long as their beloved corporations are untouched.
They're like, inspect so that they don't kill babies? No way. No way. That's a corporation. We love corporations. Under no circumstances will we ever hold them accountable.
And that's why they voted no.
Vociferous.
Oh, Disney likes gay people and black people. Rather have the babies die than help Democrats.
Oh my God, the babies.
Human persons, from their earliest days, poisoned in the womb and dismembered limb from limb. Bodies thrown in medical waste bins and in places like Washington, D.C., burned to power the lights of the city's homes and streets. Let that image sink in with you for a moment. The next time you turn on the light, think of the incinerators. Think of what we're doing to ourselves so callously and so numbly.
And so dishonestly, because what you just heard, of course, has no basis in fact. That was congressional testimony from Catherine Glenn Foster, who who is simultaneously a
complete and utter weirdo rando.
And also considered an expert in this area as the president of an anti-choice group who believes that there are wheelbarrows full of aborted fetuses being burned in incinerators throughout DC to provide electricity. That is utter madness, but honestly, we shouldn't be surprised by this. They've spent years on the right convincing people, convincing over 1/3 of Americans
that most elite Democrats have a national ring that collects babies to sexually assault and then cannibalize, to eat their faces or wear their faces, whatever madness you want. And if you could convince people that that is true, you could probably convince them that they're powering their lights off of aborted fetuses. It's utter madness.
They've tried to convince people on the topic of abortion for more than 50 years, and they have failed at every step along the way. People don't support their position, so instead, you make the conversation about something
utterly mad.
But like, as always, I would go further. Yes, now it's forcing every news organization to fact check that they're not powering the energy grid with dead babies. Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Total insanity.
Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Total insanity.
You don't have to fact check that. That's like saying, okay, I think the Earth is powered by
Ted Cruz's butt.
That means you're gay.
well, actually, we've checked with the scientists, and it's really the gravity and the moon and the blah, blah, and it turns out it is not.
It's and a little bit of Uranus, but not Ted Cruz's anus.
What the fuck are you talking about, man?
Like, we have to fact check this stuff?
Are you insane?
Look, guys, if you believe that aborted fetuses are powering Washington, D.C.'s electric grid, I'm not at all joking.
You are crazy, like literally, physically crazy.
a danger to yourself and others.
You are. You need to get mental health counseling immediately.
I'm not joking at all.
You've lost, you're detached from reality, you're in a cult, and you need help. Go around asking people.
Hey, what do you think, man? What else do they power with aborted fetuses?
You're lunatics. That woman you're looking at right there is absolutely out of her mind. I hope she's lying, because if she's not lying, she should be in an insane asylum, quite literally.
Okay.
And you know what? No one responded.
She was a star witness for the Republicans. They brought someone from an insane asylum.
Oh, I thought you were aborted fetuses.
And then the Democrats like, oh, okay, next witness.
No, Jake, I saw right-wingers spreading videos of her testimony saying that she destroyed Democratic congresspeople with this testimony.
No, but guys, that's because I'm telling you, a giant percentage of Republicans, and hence a huge percentage of the country, has lost their freaking minds. A majority of Republicans believe that the Democratic Party is led by
satanic followers who are leading a pedophile ring. That's a majority of Republicans have lost their goddamn minds. First of all, couldn't wake up from his nap, let alone watch him sing, let alone the rings and stuff. You think that Biden and Pelosi and Schumer get together like, oh, now Satan.
If you think that, you're nuts. I can't stand those guys. But if you think they're doing a child molestation ring and that's their whole purpose, and it's because of you're in a cult. Go get help.
Yeah, they can't even pass basic legislation in a Congress they control, let alone get it together to hide an entire pedophile ring. Can you imagine?
I think there's a thing that she's like, they can't even get them to vote for the same thing when they have the majority of Congress. You know how many times Democrats have the majority of Congress and don't pass something? Like it's on both sides. It's not just what it's like. They're making it seem like it's a trait of the right. I mean, it's like, no,
No,
that's just
that's
a
the
normal Congress
No,
trait,
it'd be
right?
terrible.
On either side.
They would. Then you got Manchin, and he'd be like, "No, we got to do it like this. We got to do it like that." It'd be a whole thing. They would have a lot of negotiating to do on that. I just want to point out that this is the conclusion of the denialism around climate change and renewable energy. It's like, how can we make everyone hate abortion and renewables? Ooh, I know. Fetuses are renewables. Bing! Like, I love the consultant that was hired to develop that line, who's just been huffing glue all day. It's incredible. And the reality is, and this is the sad reality, if you cared, if you were actually pro-life,
you would know that fossil fuels and contamination and pollution and air quality claims millions of American lives, specifically children's lives. The lack of clean drinking water claims babies' lives if you claim to care about babies.
Beelzebub, satanic followers who are leading a pedophile ring.
Came out pretty good with the
Yeah.
I don't even know how I cut that out.
Just put it in your mouth.
This is Sparky.
Pete Davidson, all right, how come that dude gets all of these, like, hot women?
Because he's not you, Ted Cruz.
Listen to me.
And look, it's been an amazing, breathtaking week of Republicans.
Self-owns.
Now, we're talking about Ted Cruz, but we'll give you some more examples later. He asked a viewer-submitted question that read this, okay? This is Michael Knowles reading it. He says,
The Women's March was this weekend. We are seeing women like Amber Heard, Jada Pinkett Smith, Meghan Markle, Kim Kardashian. Is it time we start talking about toxic femininity?
That doesn't even make the case. What about it is toxic femininity? That they exist? That they're marching?
Hold on.
What did Jada Pinkett Smith do?
She had alopecia and was in public, I suppose. I don't know.
I mean, is he referring to Will Smith slapping someone?
Yeah.
She didn't do that. Her husband did, and he shouldn't have done it. But, like, okay. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Okay, all right, anyway. They had a toxic relationship. They were terrible to each other.
Yes, but it's more fun to just say, she's a bad, stupid, lying woman. Aren't they all bad, stupid, lying women? And we can all point at her because she's so obviously bad that we get to just
feel like they're all bad. They're
Pure
all
straw man.
liars. Take them all out. It feels so good.
I hate it. I hate that. Don't broadcast it. Why is it being broadcast?
Oh, the trial?
Yeah.
Oh,
It is just a focal point for
impotent male rage.
I am not a male
this testimony.
with rage.
She didn't discount the impotent part.
I'm obsessed with the trial. I've been every day, go home, I'm walking the
don't like
dog,
it.
I have the trial on, I'm listening to it. It's
I
fascinating.
don't like
Anyway,
it.
anyway, let's move on. Let's move on. Now, here's where things get good, okay? Then he starts getting all up in arms about Pete Davidson.
Pete Davidson. Pete Davidson.
They're chasing you.
Tell me you don't get the ladies without telling me you don't get the ladies. Let's watch.
Pete Davidson, all right, how come that dude gets all of these, like,
I didn't mean to
hot
drop
women?
like
Because of
trying to
toxic
grab onto the
femininity,
edge
Senator.
and get it to
That
tell
is
me
the
to climb
evidence
down,
that something
but
has gone wrong.
instead it
And you're
used
like,
it, yeah.
really? The SNL dude?
That's okay. I
Like,
shouldn't have been in
wow.
there.
See, that's where I'm stuck in Breath of the Wild. I don't know where I am. I don't know how to beat the guys. They're too powerful.
You guys,
And I don't know how to get out of
And by
there.
the way, can you blame them?
Can you blame him?
Okay, they're not.
you're going to blame the women for that. Toxic femininity because I'm entitled to women finding me attractive. They love talking about people's looks. They love insulting the way people look. And then they get up in arms if I do it. So I'm going to do it right now. Those two guys are hideous.
Well, it's probably not the same people.
I know. We're all goody
Right? It's probably not the
two-shoe
same people that are bitching about
progressives.
it.
No, we're not. I am, and you're not.
Yeah, I'm not.
Find Ted Cruz both physically and mentally repulsive.
I think that the possum hanging from his chin is relatively attractive.
You're being a bad progressive.
I think it's a cute possum.
You'll be a bad progressive, a bad boy, okay?
We have to pretend like everyone's attractive, and we never attack their looks.
I'm attacking Ted Cruz's looks. You're garbage. He disgusts me. And by the way, that only pales in comparison to how disgusting he is as a person. And by the way,
Sounds like Pete Davidson is packing.
and I would venture to say Ted Cruz likely is not, considering how he cowered in front of Donald Trump after Donald Trump made fun of his wife and
called her ugly.
And I don't know,
matter.
I don't know what it is with conservatives lately who love to cell phone. But remember, Alex Jones let the world know how small his penis is recently.
Oh my God.
Let's watch.
Oh no.
You know, if your daddy's Johnson was a foot long, yours is 6 inches long. And if yours was 6 inches, your son will be 3 inches. And the one with them won't even have a penis. So we make jokes about that all day long, but this isn't a game.
Have a penis? What? What the hell is he saying?
Poor guy.
What a psychopath.
Poor guy.
Poor guy.
It's okay. It's all right.
What a weirdo.
Thanks for letting us know that you have
a tiny penis.
Great dad, though.
It's the women's
that
fault,
dad was
though.
impressive. Anyway, yeah, the whole thing.
The foot long penis.
Yeah, God, I don't want to think. This has been the worst last story ever.
No, it's the best.
I know. We're all goody two-shoe progressives.
No, we're not all.
We don't
I am, and you're not.
Yeah, I'm not.
Listen to Remco's Baby Laugh a Lot.
Creepy doll. Yeah.
She's the funniest doll you've ever seen. You just push the button and she starts to giggle.
I've been chasing you all the way back there. You're doing 120 when you pass State Street.
I didn't realize it.
All right.
I didn't realize it.
John Mitchell, 30 years old, filed an official complaint with the Grand Rapids branch of the NAACP. The officer told Mitchell that he was traveling more than 120 miles per hour. Mitchell denies driving over the speed limit.
Mitchell denies driving over the speed limit.
I've been chasing you all the way back there. You're doing 120 when you pass State Street.
I didn't realize it.
Mitchell requested an informal hearing.
The funny thing is saying he denies it, and then in the live video of the body cam from the police, he says, I didn't realize it. That's not denying it. That's saying, okay, it's possible I was doing that speed. I just didn't notice how fast I was going.
Right.
Those are different things.
Contest the citation and was found
responsible for the violation.
Oh God. Thank you for the follow, Picho Roll, Chloe? Yeah. Okay, well now there's an officer in here just trying to join the stream.
You winning?
Okay, I don't know if you guys heard that. I hope you didn't. But
I mean, the officer's just being
basically,
nice, right?
I'm just gonna act like they're not here because that's easier.
The footage that you just watched was from the Twitch stream of a transgender Twitch streamer by the name of Wynn. Wynn is a 16-year-old trans
they made a lot of
girl
accommodations for them, and they still didn't want to go to school and stuff like that or cooperate.
Well, a lot of people were trying to blame the school or blaming the parents who adopted them for this, but the point was they were getting in trouble because the trans kid was not going to school. And they were saying, well, I was, in the clip they say I was already failing, right? Because it was like, so she's like, so I figured I might as well just not go. But not going isn't the same as dropping out. So that's called a truancy. And the people who get in trouble that they have to go to court are your parents, right? They have to go to truancy court. because you were truant, right? And what they could have done if they were old enough, or at least ask the parents, like, can you sign me out or drop me out of school for this year and I'll start again next year because I'm already failing this year.
Fortunately confronted by
And then they
police
play
as
victim,
she
right?
was
But
streaming
you're doing things the
Minecraft.
wrong way. It's your fault.
Now, she unfortunately lives in a overzealous religious state like Tennessee, but the police entered her room to confront her about allegedly being truant from school.
Allegedly.
Like, if I could have just, like, failed the school year and just, like, typed in answers on all the questions instead of just, like, giving up because I saw it as a waste of time to fail.
And the reason why she was truant is because the school told her that they no longer wanted her to show up for in-person learning because she's transgender and because she wants to use the restroom that she identifies with.
Instead of just, like, giving up because I saw it as a waste of time to fail.
And so since they don't want her showing up to school,
instead of just, like, giving up because I saw it as a waste of time to fail,
they gave her the option of online learning, and she doesn't want online learning. She believes,
and I agree with her,
that she has the right to go to school just like her peers, just like her other classmates. I want to give Wynn more opportunity to share her perspective before I open this up to Jenk, so let's take a quick look at the final video.
But she wasn't going to school.
I love
Anna.
streaming. And it's like he's like.
This is what the American Taliban is spending its time doing.
Torturing transgender youth.
Torturing transgender youth by treating them like every other youth who is truant from school.
Torturing and
Who decides to
tormenting
be
parents who
truant
are
from school
supportive
over-
of
Oh my God, I
transgender
did it again.
youth, stripping rights away from
3
women
years.
so they have no agency or autonomy. This is what they do. And in the meantime, they'll point fingers at the Taliban in the Middle East and moralize about how terrible they are to women, when in reality, we have our own fundamentalists, large and in charge in this country, stripping rights away from people and terrorizing people who are just trying to live their lives peacefully.
Live from your grave.
Yeah, what you just saw there were the jackbooted thugs of the government coming to take your kids. Now, the right wing have said words like that for decades here, based on absolutely nothing. I don't even know what they're referring to. Jackbooted thugs of the government to do what? Sometimes they'll say, "Oh, take my guns away." Literally never happened, right? In our entire lives. And then they'll say, "Oh, they're coming for your kids."
Well, in
to
the
do
US,
what?
at least.
Oh, maybe teach them that the slaveholders were racist.
Ooh, right.
And then they're threatening to teach them science and math and get them educated.
Right. But here it is, actual thugs of the big government saying, "I'm going to take your kids away
because they're trans."
instead of just, like, giving up because I saw it as a waste of time to fail.
and the school's discriminating against them."
And you guys won't.
It's crazy that they say this is a normal TYT thing. They'll literally play the clip. Like, the clips I'm playing isn't because I went and searched out that trans person's clips. It's literally the clips they played themselves on the Young Turks, right? So it's funny how they say things that don't even match what the video's saying. They're blaming the school for treating this person a certain way, saying that they almost as if they weren't truant, right? But they were. They're admitting themselves, I was failing, so I stopped showing up to school. Right? But you're supposed to drop out for that, just stop showing up because you're failing, right?
Bow your heads and agree to the discrimination.
Instead of just, like, giving up because I saw it as a waste of time to fail.
And then they're going to put her in foster care. How do you think that's going to turn out? You think that they're going to find a comforting environment in Tennessee? It's not impossible. There's good people, wonderful people in Tennessee. There's also terrible people in Tennessee.
I don't think they even knew that.
Now,
That's
that's
how little
generically
research they
true of everywhere, first of all. Second of all, it's a right-wing state, so...
The right wing lacks morals in this country. They hate freedom. They love big government, controlling women's lives, destroying families.
Breaking families apart.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's what they do in Tennessee. That's what the right wing does in this country. Oh, God created you a certain way? What the hell does God know?
I'm gonna bully you anyway for being who you are.
Oh, by the way, I'm doing this for freedom. No, you're not. You're the oppressors. You're the tyrants. You love big government as long as big government works to oppress people you don't like or that don't look like you. The right wing in this country is disgusting and hates freedom.
The school has agreed to let her attend summer school to catch up in time for the second semester of 11th grade next year. So she's behind.
Through no fault of her own.
Instead of just like giving up because I saw it as a waste of time to fail.
She's behind because the school had initially decided to treat her like a second-class citizen.
Instead of just like giving up because I saw it as a waste of time to fail.
And they didn't really give her an option. But again, like the thing that really gets to me, Jank, is ripping families apart like this. Let's just call it what it is. The right wing loves tearing families apart. They love doing it at the border when desperate asylum seekers are just trying to get their kids to safety, trying to get their kids away from
violence and death.
They'll take the kids away. In some cases, they even place those children with American families and never even kept track of where their parents ended up.
Remember that?
Yeah.
Oh, the right wing loves it. They love ripping families apart. That is what right-wing family values in America really means. That is what it really means. Don't make a mistake about it.
Yeah, I mean, look, in the old days, they say, well, Jake, you can't say who's more immoral. You guys are just having policy differences. Really? No. Now the policy differences are,
we hate you and we'll rip you away from your parents, or we'll control your bodies so you're not allowed to control your own body. We're going to take away your freedom. And they break up families on the regular. And oh, by the way, family values. Our dear leader, our president, the guy we look up to, had sex with mistresses and strippers and porn stars while his wife was pregnant.
It don't matter if you win by an inch or a mile. Winning's winning.
And it's awesome that he did that. He's so great for having sex with porn stars and cheating on his wife.
No. Wow, good thing I didn't die from that one.
That's awesome.
Oh, and he likes his daughter and says, oh, he'd date her if he could.
Hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right.
Oh, he was with Jeffrey Epstein and said, yeah, Jeffrey Epstein likes him young. Oh, he knew that Epstein, his friend, was a child molester. No. Wait. Somebody tells you're a Republican, be really careful. They are probably deeply immoral.
Now where do I gotta go back?
They're probably scheming ways to rip your family apart.
Yeah.
It's a fun little hobby for them.
I'm gonna bully you anyway for being who you are.
This is so wrong in this situation.
Loves.
Ooh.
Right?
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah. It looks pretty crazy.
Like.
All right, number 7. Internet 2021. You guys what the internet looked like 2 years ago, guys, in case you didn't know. If you're really young and you don't know what the internet looked like 2 years ago, now you know.
Hey D-Head, he asked, you ever watch Future Force? You know what that is? Future Force?
Future Force? I don't know.
I haven't heard of it.
Oh, somebody's asking.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, what's up, D-Head? D? I'll just call you D. Future Force? What's that? I'll look it up in a bit. I never heard of it.
Just keep it flying. Keep it flying? And why do you want to keep it flying?
Is it a movie? If it's got cool
why would anybody want to erase our
B-movie
heritage?
effects, I might use it for an intro.
Well, some people would say that flag
yeah.
symbolizes racism, it symbolizes
a note of it.
slavery.
Yeah, but maybe he really, really likes slavery.
And they might have some valid points there. That's their opinion, you know, they're welcome to their opinion if they want it. Are you pro-slavery or against slavery? I have no comment. Thank you for the interview. I'll give you one more chance. Pro or anti-slavery? No comment. I'll give you one more opportunity to say if you're pro or
One
anti-slavery.
more opportunity. He already
No
told
comment.
you. No comment.
All right, well, there you have
You
it.
give him as
No
many
comment
episodes
on
you
the
want, he
if
doesn't
you're
want
in
to give you
favor
a
of
comment.
slavery or not.
That was Jason
He
Selvig from the
said
Good
it's
Liars
an
at
old
the NRA
David
conference, where he
Cardi
gave
post.
Obvious
Cardi?
racist.
Okay.
literally multiple
I'll look that up. I'll check it
opportunities
out.
to
I might
say
use
that
it for an
he's
intro then.
against slavery, but he just couldn't get himself to do it. Because guess what? There are people in this country who thought slavery was great, would love slavery to still exist.
I don't believe you.
And
That was at the NRA
Ron
conference,
Burgundy, I don't know.
which actually makes a lot of sense.
But Jank, I mean, some people might watch that video and find it shocking. I watch that video and I think it's just another day in America.
Yeah, I hear you. So, you know, people who wear the Confederate flag.
How crazy is that? People watch that video and they're surprised. And then she says, I watch that video and I go, just another day in America. So she thinks that it's common. Oops, wrong thing. Oops, no, don't close that. She thinks, she's basically saying that it's common that people in America agree with slavery, want slavery.
Yeah.
That would, you know, to say that it's common would say that it's like 50% or more, right? Like basically like the average person would think that. It's nowhere near that. I doubt even 1% of the population wants that, right?
Right.
It's so weird to say in America. Like, what are you talking about? Nobody wants slavery in America. It's the freest country in the world. What are you talking about?
Flag or flight or all. Yeah, heritage. What part of the heritage? See, that guy just made it clear. At least he's honest. He's like,
Yeah, the slavery part of the heritage. That's the part I liked.
He never said that.
That's their opinion, you know, they're welcome to their opinion if they want it. Are you pro-slavery or against slavery? I have no comment.
Where my loser ass felt like I was above someone. Even though I actually toiled in the fields too, and the rich people had the mansions and the plantations, etc. But I was made to feel better because I arbitrarily was told my skin color made me better than someone else. And like a dupe, I believed it, and I worked my ass off and got nothing.
What are you talking about?
and by the way, the white people that were in favor of slavery.
And apparently still are.
I have no comment. Some of the ones that are.
All lazy bums.
Never wanted to do a day of work in their lives.
How do you
So
know that
they
about
actually kidnapped other people.
How do you know?
That is not true.
Well, they can do their work for them because they're lazy and they're savages. That's who that guy right there is a
savage.
This is an open and shut case, and anybody who can't see that is a savage and an idiot.
He thinks.
Oh, I'd rather whip somebody, I'd rather kill someone, I'd rather lynch someone than do my own work.
I have no comment. Because he's a bum. He's a loser. And that loser thinks he's superior to other people.
I'm fucking better than you.
That's a good one.
And look, that man, that elderly man wearing the Confederate flag shirt, refusing to condemn slavery, he's someone's grandfather.
No,
He might be
refusing to condemn slavery, but he's also refusing to say that he accepts it, right?
Right.
These are different things. Like, just because he, you know, it just doesn't make any sense. They're so ridiculous with that.
someone's husband.
Just, somebody says no
someone's
comment
father.
to them, that means they
And when I
refuse
look at
to
him, all I can think is, all we can do is sit around and wait for people like this guy to croak.
Savage.
Who's savage?
It's the truth. It's the truth. It's the truth.
But
Okay,
yet he's the
bane
savage
of
where
our
she's saying that
existence,
people should
like
die,
this.
you know, basically. I can't wait
So
for these
all we
people
can
to
do
die.
is hope that
but he's the
people
savage.
like him, people of his ilk, just leave this earth finally. I'm fucking better than you.
No, but they have a whole
Because
new
he said
supply
no
now because of
comment,
Trump.
mind you.
It looked like the country was headed towards having less racists, which I think is a good thing, but the right wing now disagrees.
So, but now Tucker Carlson and Donald Trump and others have created a whole new batch, and they're much, much younger.
And they bother with some code words, barely. So they don't say, I'm not in favor of slavery. I'm just saying.
There's an IQ difference and there's a crime difference. And I listened to a fancy
What does this
podcast
have to
from
do with slavery?
Charles Murray or someone
None
else.
of this.
Look, man, if you're a racist, you are less intelligent than other people.
Savage.
Savage and an idiot. Okay.
That's the great irony of racists. They think,
Oh, yeah, the pigmentation, that's what decides brain power. Since mine is lighter than yours, I'm smarter.
It's not
I'm fucking better than you.
Skin color.
Said no one ever.
It's the
Nobody ever
culture.
said skin
oh, yeah.
color
It's the
makes you
culture.
But then when we try to defend Western culture and say, hey, you know what, it's in favor of enlightenment, education, habeas corpus, all these different things, they're like,
Nah, I hate it. I hate democracy. We don't live in a democracy. We don't live in a democracy. We live in a republic. We get to oppress you.
It never happened.
no, but the cornerstone of Western civilization is democracy. I hate it. We don't live in a democracy. Okay, then, all right, then you're a vicious, stupid racist.
You're garbage.
I got it. And do you want me to have sympathy for that old geezer? Is that what you want?
No.
He wants black people enslaved in chains?
I have no comment.
You're supposed to have sympathy for him?
And nobody asked you to have sympathy for him.
Almost all Republicans have a slightly different version of that line of thinking. And then what do they say? They all say the same code word that he started with, our heritage. You can't erase our heritage. That's what the whole critical race theory nonsense is about.
That was a lie.
Like people flying the Nazi flag in Germany going, whoa, 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 you can't erase our heritage. It doesn't mean you have to celebrate the Nazis.
Oh my God, did I just compare you guys to Nazis? Yes, I did.
You literally would whip people, steal babies from
Turkish slave
parents
trade.
and sell them like they were a couch or furniture. You would lynch people and have a picnic around them. Did you do it? No, you didn't.
Yeah. Notice that he said, you literally did this, you literally did that. And then
Yeah.
right after he goes, did you do it? No. Then why are you saying you in that
You.
part?
Yeah,
Right?
right.
If so, then can we say the same thing and say, you literally genocided Armenians, you literally, genocided Anatolians, like, because the Ottoman Empire, that's what they did, like that's what Turkish people did.
Do it. There's no reason for you to defend it. Yes, it's in our past.
That's their opinion. They're welcome to their opinion if they want it.
And you make it obvious where you stand when you say,
That's a part of our heritage that we have to protect.
no, you don't have to protect it. You protect it.
Because you're a racist.
So yes, guns were used for slave patrols in the South. That was their quote unquote militias. Literally, that was their militias. The North had different militias. And in the Second Amendment, it says a well-regulated militia being necessary. And everybody just
I love this. Oh, well, he goes, so I wrote it at the bottom, right? So it says, a Second Amendment says, a well-regulated militia being necessary, he said. Notice there's a comma between militia and being necessary. Right? Like,
Yeah.
he completely ignores that there's a comma there. Commas are there for a reason, right?
The right wing can't speak English.
Just puts it all in one sentence.
And then he says the right wing can't speak English. Meanwhile,
He's fumbling over everything.
Cenk is fumbling over, ignoring commas and forgetting what they mean.
It doesn't have to be a militia. It literally says it. And by the way, they were originally slave patrols in half the country. And it says well-regulated. They're like, no, it means no regulation. You guys speak English?
Nobody says that.
You're the
Nobody
ones
says
always
no
saying like,
regulation.
let's speak English in this country.
We're screwed. That is the reality of the situation.
Whoa, 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 whoa. You can't erase our heritage. It doesn't mean you have to celebrate the Nazis.
Oh my God, did I just compare you guys to Nazis? Yes, I did. Thanks for watching the young person. Really appreciate it.
On April 24th, 1915, Turkish authorities in the Ottoman Empire began to systematically exterminate their Armenian subjects.
Now notice, this was 1915, right? Like, so it's not like ancient history, right? It's still kind of recent.
It's not the
And anybody who can't see that is a savage and an idiot.
The rioting needs to fucking stop. And if that means like white redneck
Destiny
fucking
with
militia
Spencer
dudes out there
Peter.
mailing down dipshit protesters that think that they can torch buildings at 10 p.m., then at this point they have my fucking blessing. Because holy shit, this fucking shit needs to stop. It needed to stop a long time ago.
poor highway crews in Pennsylvania
Destiny.
were left to clean up a meaty mess after a speeding truck carrying hot dog
Piggy
filler crashed and spilled 15,000 pounds of pink piggy goo across the road.
Pink
Piggy goo.
piggy goo.
Pink piggy goo.
Oh boy. Okay, we're gonna show it to you, but I don't want to.
I like hot dogs.
This really makes you not want to eat them.
Oh boy.
Does it? I mean, it doesn't change my mind on
we
hot
have
dogs.
the
though.
image that I'm
I
sure
already
a
knew
lot
what
of you
hot
have
dogs are made
already
out of,
come
so
across, but if you
guess that's why.
haven't, this is what hot dog
I
filler
didn't think
looks
there was a
like.
section
Hot
on
dog
the
filler
animal that was like
part
hot
of a
dogs
truck
and
that
like
crashed
hamburger
on the
pat. Like
highway
I
in
think they all make it
Pennsylvania.
in like.
And so that sludge is what's used to fill the hot dogs that many people in America consume.
Hold on, before you give the details. I
That's
saw
actually
on
just
Twitter
low
somebody
quality
wrote,
hot dogs too. I eat
Look,
like
man,
high
I really
quality
didn't
hot
like
dogs.
them,
Like, we
but
get like the
I
New
feel
York
bad that Ted Cruz has
Subrats and
passed
stuff.
on.
That's like ballpark hot dogs that are like low quality.
That is not, in fact, Ted Cruz.
Okay, I just want to clarify for the record. Okay. Okay.
I like he's saying that's not in fact Ted Cruz, like the slime. Jenk, you're fatter than Ted Cruz is. So,
Right.
like, it would more likely be you.
In case there's any confusion. I gotta be honest, that's pretty insulting to the hot dog filler.
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah, I know it's a disaster because I do like hot dogs, and I don't know what. Seeing what's in it, that's why there's that old saying about
You don't want to know how the sausage is made, right?
And what was the other thing?
Sausage.
Oh, yeah.
Let's talk about what's in your meat, okay? Because you should. Look, I'm not a big fan of hot dogs. I do love an expensive sausage because I like convince myself that it's somehow better.
Look.
In a 2012 report, ABC News uncovered the use of pink slime as an additive to ground meat, created in a process where fat is spun out of and separated from meat, and the resulting product is sprayed with ammonia to kill the bacteria.
That is just not appetizing. Let's be honest about it.
I mean, might as well guzzle down some like Windex. Like
on the upside, it could cure COVID, according to Trump.
She goes, it's kind of funny. She goes, you might as well guzzle Windex. Windex will kill you if you drink it instantly. You can eat like people do hot dog competitions.
Yeah.
So you can eat like, what is it, like Joey Chestnut is from Long Island, is the champion of hot dog eating contest, and he's eaten like 78 hot dogs in one sitting. It's like, how is that? You know, that's not gonna kill you at it.
Disinfectant, get right into your lungs.
Okay.
Disinfectant, get right into your lungs. Okay.
all we need to do is eat
More hot dogs.
The problem would be solved.
We will not be sending you COVID testing kits. We will be sending you hot dogs.
Yeah, I am orange slime in favor of pink slime.
Uh-oh, here it goes.
Pink piggy goo.
I like hot dogs. Yeah, I know it's a disaster because I do like hot dogs, and I don't know what. Seeing what's in it, that's why there's that old saying about you don't want to know how the sausage is made, right?
Pink piggy goo.
I like hot dogs.
Let's talk about what's in your meat. I do love an expensive sausage.
Oh, that's a good point.
Might as well guzzle down some like
Pink piggy goo.
I like hot dogs. You don't want to know how the sausage is made, right?
Pink piggy goo.
I forgot what I have to do.
And this is
Oh, perfect guard.
Morbid time.
Morbius, a movie that ended up being a complete and utter disaster. It's a superhero film that's been the topic of thousands of internet memes in recent weeks. Now, Sony Pictures made a huge mistake because they thought that their film was actually getting positive attention online, when in reality...
Yo,
the
Billy,
memes
what's up?
were not meant to laugh along
You put a
with the
beat
movie.
behind it.
It's
Yeah, I
to
put a lot
laugh
of beats
along with
behind the
movie.
intern.
And so Sony Pictures decided to re-release it.
And it did not play out so well for them.
So, you know, I really wondered, did Sony release it because they thought like, oh, maybe it'll be campy? and people will go, right?
You gotta hope. You gotta hope that they were like smart enough to like. I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know.
But my son,
Please don't, yeah.
my son will see and demands to see every Marvel Cinematic Universe movie, TV series, etc. He was like, Morbius, no interest.
Oh my God.
No interest.
Oh my God.
By the way, Brett noted that I said
Superman
villains instead of Spider-Man.
Oh yeah.
And the chat is hilariously losing their minds over it.
I don't care.
By the way, look, I get that people like superhero movies. I get it. There is a place in society for superhero movies. Can we get other things too?
Can we please get other things too?
It is funny to say that because there are other things. There's all types of genres of movies are still coming out. It's not like because they're superhero movies, other movies aren't being made. Yeah. Yes, it's a big market of the bigger movies in the theater, but there's still other movies being made, right?
Only super movies.
I hate Hollywood right now. Like it's
no, but also it's where the money's at, right? If you want other movies to be made, people need to go see those movies. If people are only going to the theater to see Star Wars and Marvel, that's all that's going to be in the theater, right? Because nobody else is going for anything else.
Just nonstop, like superhero.
Oh yeah, by the way, I didn't add that burr, 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 burr noise in there. Somehow the engineer knew she was going to do that and added that burr, 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 burr in there for her because that's TYT themselves. Right. I did not add that in there. It sounds like I did, but no, I didn't.
I was saying, boy,
you can hear it because when I reverse her, you hear it go, yep. Yeah, that's the sound, right? The horn sound. I'll do it back.
I never thought of that until you just pointed that out now.
Superhero.
Like Spider-Man, Superman, who cares? What difference does it make?
They're gonna hate
Go ahead and cry, okay? But like,
again, different strokes for different folks, right? Like, you like that stuff? Good. I'm glad that there is like a wealth of content out there for you. I like stuff too that is not in that space.
Yeah.
How about us? How about the rest of us?
There's not enough of you.
You're offended? I'm offended. I'm offended. I'm offended that, like...
You're offended? I'm offended.
All we get now is that...
Oh, MCU, a new MCU.
Okay, we get it. We get it. Can we just please...
Please stop it, please. For God's sake, please stop it. There's no more time.
Halloween 3. But it's got Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Turn it off.
Like, that's the thing about Hollywood. Like, they one thing works, and they're like, that's it. We have to cast Emma Stone in everything. Emma Stone is the only actress in existence. And she will be the only actress we cast in every movie.
And so, but...
Totally jealous. It's so funny because she brings up, why do they have to cast Emma Stone in every movie? Meanwhile, she's talking about how every movie is a superhero movie. Emma Stone's only been in 2 superhero movies, right? Amazing Spider-Man and Amazing Spider-Man 2. That's it, right? She hasn't been in any other superhero movie. So it's kind of crazy for her to just bring up Emma Stone out of nowhere. Well, the truth is that she's probably jealous of Emma Stone and she's tired of seeing her in movies because she's jealous of her.
Like, guys, just because it's a superhero movie doesn't mean it's going to be good. The reason people love the MCU is because Disney's doing a fantastic job with it. And a lot of the movies, and certainly the series like Loki and WandaVision, are really smart and interesting.
Right?
But I like them. Look, it's not for Anna, I get it. But for me, it's always Morbin time.
I don't know.
But for me, it's always Morbin time.
Yeah, you know what I have to say? This is the first time that I've ever starred in a huge film like this. I've never, my whole career, I've made mostly independent films and made a career out of playing smaller parts. But this is like the first time I've ever starred in a big Marvel movie like this, and I'm incredibly excited. And it's the first time that Morbius has ever been on the screen. So that was a big honor today to get asked to bring Spirit to life.
Huge honor. And then it flopped hard.
A new poll indicates that the majority of Americans are actually in favor of arming teachers as a way to mitigate the slaughter of children on campuses across the country.
A slim majority, 51% of Americans, agree that it might make sense to arm teachers. The
She's
same
fuming.
teachers who, by the way, have been defamed as groomers by the right wing, who have been completely like tortured with all sorts of nonsense because they wanted to go back to school
in a safe way
during the pandemic. The teachers who are underpaid, undervalued,
now are expected to protect your children with a gun in case a mass shooter enters the classroom.
Now understand what they're asking teachers to do. They're asking teachers to shoot and kill someone who poses a threat to their students.
And for a lot of Americans, that might sound like it's all hunky-dory, it's totally fine, everyone thinks they're Rambo.
But killing someone, shooting someone, is a pretty traumatic thing to go through.
So this is already...
That is true, but what's an even more traumatic thing to go through is to have a student shoot all your other students and you not be able to do anything about it to prevent them from shooting more and more of your students, right? That is even more traumatic.
Insanity. Second of all, we're really going to ask our teachers. Now, I need you to be an expert in chemistry. And remember, you're going to have to know the whole periodic elements.
And plus, how to murder people that come in or kill people that come into your school because...
We live in an insane country where we think this is normal.
No other country does this. We here in America have lost our goddamn minds.
But it doesn't matter. 95% of politicians who take money, or 100% of politicians who take money from the gun lobby, don't give a damn what teachers want or what's going to keep your kids safe. They think,
where's the money, Lebowski?
Okay, and...
To arm everybody, because that's the solution, right? According to the gun lobby, the solution to gun violence is more guns, because more guns, of course, translates to more profits for the gun manufacturers, of course.
More death for us, more fear for us, but hey, more fear is a good thing, Jake. More fear is a good thing. That means more gun sales.
You guys see how this works? You see how it's not about actually saving lives? How this is about
exploiting one tragedy after another,
to sell more guns. That's what this is about. It's not about a common sense solution to stop the carnage. It's not about that.
Yeah, and so there's an estimate that if you have to arm every teacher in America, it'll get gun manufacturers an extra $3.5 billion at least.
At least?
Okay, that is a lot of reasons for them to push
their bitches,
the Republican politicians, into pushing this agenda so they can make money and share small proceeds with people like Ted Cruz and pat him on his head.
Good boy. Good boy. Good boy, Ted Cruz.
And that Ted Cruz will do whatever they want and the Republicans will push this out. Why in the world does a majority of Americans agree with this? Because Republicans repeat it endlessly. I've now seen it dozens of times on television. The Republican comes out and says, I've got all the teachers, we've got all the teachers. Teachers need to show, they all need to be Rambo. I've got all the teachers, we've got all the teachers. Teachers need to show, they all need to be Rambo. And the Democrats say what?
Nothing.
Nothing.
So all that, unless you watch TYT.
Thanks for watching me on Cruise. Really appreciate it.
Unless you watch TYT or another progressive show, all that you heard as an American is
arming teachers is an awesome idea and almost the only idea.
And Democrats never countered it.
Never countered her.
Okay, I challenge you. Find a single Democrat saying,
hey, why aren't we arming doctors then if there's mass shootings at hospitals?
You won't find it because they're losers. But instead they're like, oh, did you beg hard enough, Chris? Is that what you do? You want me to call you Senator Murphy? Why? What have you ever gotten done?
Nothing. Zero.
On your signature issue?
Zero.
At least the current law indicates that there are certain standards that an educator would need to meet before bringing a lethal weapon into a classroom. Then we'll hear about the disastrous, tragic stories of how More innocent people died as a result of the teacher having a firearm in his or her classroom. I guarantee it. I promise you. But that is exactly how this was supposed to play out. I need you guys to be...
Share the link, and if you got social media or Twitter or whatever, share my link, please.
Need you guys to be...
Look, we have a smart audience, so most of you know this already.
I'm fucking better than you.
Yeah, last thoughts here, just to buttress what Anna's saying. Everything else is squirrels. Arming the teachers is also squirrels. It's dangerous squirrels because it'll lead to more deaths, but anything that isn't gun control is squirrels.
And
finally, by the way,
I guess nuts. I don't know why.
When the teachers start making mistakes and the kids grab their guns and what Anna said turns out to be true, you know what they're going to propose next?
Squirrels?
Well, why don't we just arm the students?
Delicious
profits for those gun manufacturers.
Oh, they're gonna love the 7-year-olds with Uzis. They're gonna love it. And yes, Republican politicians will say it with a straight face because they're paid to. And Democrats will surrender because they're paid to.
Good boy.
More fear is a good thing.
They're bitches.
I've got to arm the teachers. We've got to arm the teachers. Teachers need to show. They all need to be Rambo.
Forgot I don't have the Paris glider thing.
Oh, no.
I don't have it yet in here. I keep trying to use it. That's why I keep dying, because I think I can Paris glide and then I can't, because I'm used to playing on the other one.
Superhero?
Number 8. Oh shit.
Oh my god, there's a big giant one. Ooh.
Good evening, pedophiles.
Charlie Kirk's Turning Point USA held a Young Women's Leadership Summit where they were conditioning women, of course, to be good, submissive partners. They want them to save themselves from marriage.
He keeps throwing the rocks against the seat.
Conservative stuff where they're getting super
as long
involved
as I keep
in
them in there,
people's
he can't
personal
hit me
sex
with those
lives and
rocks.
what people do in their bedrooms.
Now, there was a moment where they brought out someone they referred to as a
cute conservative.
Cute conservative.
And let's take a look at how that all went down.
I just want to introduce Kyle by saying this. I wanted to talk a lot about what kind of man you should want to be attracted to. Men your #1 goal is to protect your family and to stand strong in the face of opposition from culture and evil. And Kyle Rittenhouse is a man who does that. God bless Kyle Rittenhouse. You want to say a few words?
Thank you guys. Thank you guys for all the support and everything. Thank you guys for the prayers. And thank you guys for being strong women.
Oh, what happened? I don't even know. He must have hit me with something, but I didn't see
So,
it.
you know, Kyle
I had
Rittenhouse,
my
a
back
guy
turned to him,
who
so I guess I
Opened
didn't see it.
fire
on 3 protesters
his sword
in
with the
Kenosha,
stick.
Wisconsin.
like
The
a
first
pointy
time
thing.
being after someone threw a
bag at him.
and he turned around and decided to shoot.
And he turned around and decided to shoot.
Previously on Get It.
Details do matter because this stuff is caught on camera. The New York, there's, but I was wrong about that. Okay, so I want to correct the record. I was, in fact,
wrong about that.
She's wrong about a lot of things.
Now, he was acquitted in that trial, but...
Those people are dead.
Those people, yeah.
I mean, yeah, OJ was also acquitted. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Yeah, but OJ wasn't saying he killed anyone and claimed self-defense,
people get mad
right?
at me when I talk about people's looks, so I guess I'll just...
It's such a strange thing to bring up OJ in this case, because OJ never claimed self-defense. That was never part of the trial, was for him to say, oh, I did kill them, but I did so in self-defense. That never happened. Whereas in this one, you know, Rittenhouse turned himself instantly and said, yeah, I killed those people. I was defending my life, right?
It's
two totally different things.
Go ahead.
Not cute. I'll just say not cute.
Yeah.
The whole point of this conference was be submissive. Your husbands are supposed to lead. Don't even look at any other guys, even before you get married. Save yourself for a guy that you barely know, and then hope that he leads you in the right direction, because he's a man and you're not. You're just a woman.
And then they bring out this killer, and he killed 2 people. He was acquitted, but he killed them. That's the only thing he's known for.
That's the only thing he's saying. Oh, you went to a protest against police abuse and you killed 2 people.
Oh, yeah. And so maybe they should have brought OJ. I mean, he's a strong man.
Right. He's black. I mean, I don't know.
Well,
would they be into that?
Right.
But Charles Manson.
Excuse me. The fuck did you just say?
I don't know. You guys like killers.
Right? So, strong man, yeah! Oh my God, he's got a swastika on his forehead. So strong. He doesn't listen to anybody.
I don't even, like...
And then he almost did the hand
It's
thing.
interesting.
Sorry.
So you come at this from a place of anger, and...
I think that's why I thought about that. That's the instance.
But, like, the thing that I don't understand is how do you look at Kyle Rittenhouse and think, no, I want him to be the leader of my family. Like, I look at him and I think he's the perfect person to protect me. He's a guy who first
opened fire
during that BLM protest after someone threw a bag in his direction.
I was, in fact, wrong about that.
She's wrong about a lot of things.
So...
I mean, I don't see that as strength. Like, I see, look, for me, strength is... All right, I'm in a little bit of a scary situation, right? But why don't I see if I can
de-escalate, right? Like,
how can I be an actual
running
leader,
away?
right?
What's funny is this is the best way to de-escalate a situation is to leave the situation, and that's literally what Kyle. That's what he's saying. A real man would de-escalate. Kyle was running away from the situation, and they chased him down. How else can you de-escalate except run away, right, and leave the situation?
Actual leader, by the way, wouldn't go out of his way to go to a protest where he obviously disagrees with the protesters.
What the hell are you talking about? Who are you talking to?
With a gun, right?
So fucking what?
Not even concealed, like showing off his gun, obviously meant to provoke the situation.
I was, in fact, wrong about that.
She's wrong about a lot of things.
Looking for Trump.
Looking for Trump.
Like, here's what I like in a husband, right?
Someone who's not out to provoke a situation, provoke violence.
But I don't know, like, my husband doesn't feel the need to go to a protest, and that's my husband, Candace Owens, who thinks that successful...
That's my husband.
That's a real man, okay? A real man. Well, you're wrong.
A real man.
Yeah. So, Anna, I'm not mad at the women. I get it. And propaganda is a hell of a thing. Okay, but that's them. That's their decisions. I believe in freedom. The only part I'm angry about is, I mean, I'm mad about the original propaganda, but at this point, those women are saying,
I know, I'm volunteering for it.
okay, no problem.
Okay.
The part I'm mad about is celebrating Rittenhouse. Like, oh, this guy went to go pick a fight.
You are a compulsive liar.
And then wound up killing 2 people because somebody threw a plastic bag at him and a skateboard or whatever, right?
Or are you not, in fact, a chronic and habitual liar?
And he got acquitted and he got away with the killings. Oh, I think that's so strong and manly. So I'm willing to submit to him and whatever violent proclivities he has.
Yeah, I'm just not surprised. Like, it's hard for me to get angry at something that I predicted and something that I knew was going to happen.
Because this is what they are.
So I mentioned O.J. Simpson earlier because he also killed 2 people, and he was also acquitted. And so you're right.
He is black.
So they probably wouldn't have him come and say,
submit to me.
Having a white killer say that, they think makes perfect sense.
90% of the time, I have no idea what the fuck I'm talking about.
But the idea is, once you're married to someone, you should just trust all their decisions. Should Nicole Brown Simpson have just trusted OJ's decisions?
Are you fucking dumb?
They're brainwashing you for their own agenda, which is to control you completely and make sure you have no voice at all. It's literally the most obvious thing in the world.
And by the way, Kyle Rittenhouse was also caught on camera beating up his girlfriend.
No, it's wrong.
A little note of caution for all the ladies who are turned on by Kyle Rittenhouse.
No, just trust his judgment.
No, maybe that's the right thing to do.
I mean, according to this conference, just take it, okay?
I think it's the dumbest philosophy in the world.
But that's what the conference is about. So enjoy.
He didn't even have a
Details
girlfriend
do
at the time.
matter
17
because this stuff is caught on camera. You do see it in the video, someone taking a skateboard and hitting Rittenhouse over the head with it as he's on his back. But I was wrong about that, okay? So I want to correct the record. I was, in fact,
wrong about that.
And I haven't seen this video yet, but it was already, but I was wrong about that. Okay, so I want to correct the record. I was, in fact,
wrong about that.
The New York. I haven't seen this video yet, but but I was wrong about that. Okay, so I want to correct the record. I was, in fact,
wrong about that.
She's wrong about a lot of things.
Squish, squash, smush. No matter how sharp your favorite knife is, your food ends up like this. Yuck. Well,
say goodbye to the squishing and squashing. If you've got some cutting to do, you need power. Take a look at the mightiest cutting.
Chopping, slicing, dicing, cubing, mincing tool ever invented for the kitchen.
After the massacre in Buffalo, New York, discussion of white replacement theory is front and center, and the question of how many voters in America actually believe that white people are being intentionally replaced by people of color.
What percentage? How many of them actually believe this? Well, we have a new
pretty terrifying
YouGov poll that shows that the majority of Republican voters do in fact think this is true. The YouGov poll is
terrifying.
But I do have one note of caution, right? Because for me, the real question is, do they believe that this is a conspiracy, like something's being intentionally done to make this happen? There's a difference between acknowledging demographic shifts versus thinking there's some crazy manipulated like strategy to replace white people, right? Because white replacement theory is that Jewish people are conspiring and like carrying out this strategy to replace white people, which is insane, obviously.
Nonetheless, 58% of Republicans said.
Oh, yeah. White people are going to be replaced.
So now let's break down how over the top
racist this is.
And if the word
racist
offends you,
well, the fact that you are racist offends us way more. Way more. Okay?
so we're even, and let's move on. And now I'll prove to you that anyone who answered yes to this is a definitive racist. White people are going to be replaced by who? Non-white people. Why is that a problem?
Because you're a racist.
No, but it's literal. Like, so if you told me, hey, you're going to be replaced. First, we'll get back to it in a second. Replaced for what? Where am I going? Right?
Wow.
But if you told me you're going to be replaced, let's say that the next host here is going to be a Latino or someone black. Why would I care? Why is that?
You know what's dumb about this? Like, I don't agree with the white replacement theory, of course not. But it's funny how he's responding to them, because this doesn't work as a response, because they're not talking about the individual. They're not saying one person's being replaced by another. What they're saying is that a cultural demographic or an ethnic demographic is being replaced, as in the numbers are dwindling of one while the other is rising, right? Like,
Right, yeah.
that's what they're saying. And he's taking it as they're talking about the individual. Like he said, if a Latino host comes in and takes my job, that's not me being replaced, you know?
Is that a bad thing? Because they think white people should be in charge.
Someone
the idea
asked
of
a
having
question
white
about
people
audio
replaced,
on Twitter,
they find to be
asking,
Mm-hmm.
are we using an audio interface? Your sample rate might have switched. Is that helpful or anything?
The what?
Audio interface. Are we using something like that?
I don't know what that even means.
Seems
Can't
like
even help
it.
that. I'm doing audio input capture on the OBS. Oh, that's on Twitter. Yeah, if they're not listening. Gyro Murphy, what's up, man? Just wanted to say hi, hello. I would watch, but I just got the game on the 13th. So far, it's amazing. I only take a few days off a month, and I'm spending them drinking whiskey. Yeah, good. Yeah, it's a great game. Lots of fun.
Porn.
Other blacks, Latinos, Asians, non-white people in charge?
They find that idea disgusting. That's because they're
overtly racist.
Okay, but do you get the point that I'm trying to make? Like, look, I remember doing a show for Fusion back in 2016 where we were specifically talking about how the demographic,
And we were celebrating it. We didn't think it was a bad thing, obviously.
that, you know, the Trump support was like the last gasp of like white America, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I remember talking about that. So
That's
like,
right.
You just posted cringe.
so like if we were to answer this poll the way that it's being phrased, right? Like it's demonstrably
posting cringe,
true, but it's not asking you if it's a good thing or a bad thing. Do you get what I'm saying?
No. White people are not being replaced. That is not true. That's not even close to true.
Are demographics shifting? Yes. Why it's not true when you say replace and white people is the key part. Okay.
Fair.
So you're not being replaced at all. More people are coming in. Some of them, by the way, are white.
We were celebrating it, obviously.
I like how TYT in this, they're talking about immigration, right? And he's like, you're not being replaced. More people are coming in. And he says, by the way, some of those people are white. So, but it's funny because they use the same thing to criticize right-wingers. When right-wingers bitch about immigration, they go, you're a bitch about immigration because you hate brown people. But Cenk, you just said some immigrants are white. So that's not about that, right? Do you think they're only okay with the white immigrants or immigration in general, right? Like, this is where the straw man comes in that he concocts.
Ukrainians and other
white.
But if we're adding other races, how are we replacing you?
No, you're just saying, I don't like the other races. I don't want them to come in addition to the people that are already here.
Because they're not white. If they were white, that's totally fine. Because it says white people, right? There's no subtlety at all in this.
Okay.
God, we're so doomed. Like, I mean, every year this country gets significantly worse with extremists and racists, like having more and more extremist and racist thoughts.
We were celebrating it, obviously.
I don't think so.
That are being fueled also by the right-wing media ecosystem that honestly, what do we have on the left, right? We have some independent media, sure. But can it really compete with corporate media and right-wing media at this point?
Don't listen to her. The bitch is crazy.
I mean, the most watched cable news network is Fox News, with Tucker Carlson being the most watched host on that platform. The most watched host on that platform. But to buttress your point, because you are right, if you take a look at other questions in this very poll, it's just demonstrably true that there's racism at the front and center.
There's no subtlety at all. Oh, that at all. So, look, guys, changing demographics are real. If the demographics were naturally shifting towards the country being more white, would I be upset? Of course not. Why the hell would I be upset?
We were celebrating it, obviously.
Because they're not white.
You know, Anna's talking
And
about
if Democrats
celebrating.
are upset and they're like, oh, the changing
like, oh,
demographics
no,
are bad for us, I would tell them, hey, schmucks, why don't you go get the votes of white people? What's wrong with you?
Right.
Right?
Oh, well, white people never vote for us. Why? Then why don't you help them? And not white people specifically. Why don't you help all Americans so they all vote for you?
But Republicans, by the way, have never even considered that. Why don't we go get the votes of Latinos and black people?
Why not, you stupid bastard?
Oh, no, we don't. They're so racist, they don't even want your vote.
You know why?
Are you stupid or something?
Because, look, think about everything that Republicans have campaigned on for decades. Since the 1970s, it's all been culture war stuff. So hating on people and being,
peddling racist politics
is their bread and butter. That is what they rely on for their campaigning. That's it. They're gonna keep doing it. This is all they've got. And on the other side, what do you get from Democrats who have now been captured by the same corporate interests? Finger wagging, language policing. Today, AOC talking about, oh, my colleagues won't use Latinx.
Even though Latinos don't want to be called Latinx. What are you doing, AOC? What are you doing?
Here we go.
What are you doing? What is this? We were celebrating it, obviously.
Because they're not white.
I like that she's yelling at AOC that I want to be called
Yeah.
Latinx.
They don't want it.
So, of course, the school board caved. They voted 4-1 with 2 abstentions to pass an anti-CRT and anti-1619 project resolution, but the crowd was still riled up. Of course, that's not what they wanted.
They wanted blood.
The administrators then asked Lewis if she would consider a different position in Cherokee, but she turned them down after all the vitriol and the threats that she'd received. This is just half of the story, you guys, because as I said, she got run out of multiple counties.
Let's just be honest about who those folks are. All the parents you saw in that video are the new
Ku Klux Klan.
Jeez.
Boy, that escalated quickly. I mean, that really got out of hand fast.
It jumped up a notch.
It did, didn't it?
So she doesn't even know what CRT is, let alone plan to teach it.
Not
When they
wanting
asked her, she thought it was
CRT
about
means you're the new
cultural
KKK.
relativity or something along those lines.
And so they're like, oh, we don't care, you're black. We don't want you here.
You're black.
We assume you're going to teach certain things because
you're black. Yeah.
You're black.
You tell me you're not going to teach it, I don't care.
You're black.
So all these racist Klan members right there get together like,
Don't hire the black person, don't hire the black person.
I mean, how are you not the world's worst racist?
You monsters.
Oh, no, I don't want my kids being taught that maybe black people were discriminated against, okay? I don't want it. I don't want a black teacher teaching him.
Total straw man. Nobody said that.
Okay, if you don't want a black teacher teaching your kids,
They're in kindergarten, Jake. What are you talking about?
Let alone when you say things like,
we're gonna hunt you down.
Hunt you
We're
down.
gonna hunt you down. Let alone when you say things like, we're gonna hunt you down. We're gonna hunt you down. That's exactly what the Klan
Oh,
said.
this is a good beat that you put on.
That's exactly what the Klan said. She made the mortal mistake of going down to the South as a black person. We're gonna hunt you down.
I just want to make a statement here where he says she made the mistake of going down to the South as a black person. The South has a larger demographic of black people than the North does, right?
Yes.
So it's kind of silly to say that, right? Makes
That's
sense.
exactly what the
You
Klan
made a
said.
wrong turn.
Yeah.
Abort.
The majority of the blacks live in the South.
We're gonna hunt you down. That's exactly what the Klan said. That's exactly what the Klan said. Oh, we gotta get this on tape for our Klan leader. The Grand Wizard's gonna be so
I like when he does
happy.
that little fist
And probably
dance
Jimmy
thing.
Dore, Glenn Greenwald will come on and go, oh, yeah. No, they're right. They shouldn't hire any black people. That's what the left believes. Yeah, Okay, so
We got a bunch of disgusting pigs on Tucker Carlson's show.
Next time you should add 2 donuts in his hands when he does the fist dance.
I couldn't hear you say that again.
I was saying when he does that little fist dance, you should add 2 donuts in his hands, like or drumsticks.
Into America every day.
Yeah.
Poison. Poison. That girl is poison. 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 And then you get all these riled up Klan members going,
Black teacher, we're gonna hunt you down, black teacher.
Right wing says the biggest problem in the country is what? Cancel culture. They just got her fired from 2 different, for the first job, and then they chased her out of town on the second job. Why? Because
she was black.
In the first school, the administrators are at fault for not realizing that they live in a town filled with Klansmen. So they were trying to do the right thing and do diversity as part of the curriculum. Oh, like, hey, there's other people in the world. There's black people, there's Asian people. You're gonna run into them at some point. And you know what? You shouldn't just attack them because of the color of their skin. And the town said, no!
No, we want to teach our kids to be racist.
So we'll lead by example. You know where they got together the first time?
Golf course. So the new Klan doesn't have hoods, and it gets together at golf courses, and they showed their kids through their example of their own racism and hatred. If you see someone black, attack them and try to ruin their lives.
So it's disgusting on every level. They love cancel culture, and you know the Klan loved cancel culture too.
That's what lynchings were.
You want to talk about cancel culture, okay?
Why are you the way that you are?
Oh, minorities are lazy. They don't even want to do their own work. Said the guys who had slaves to do their work for them.
Equating
The
cancel
world's
culture and
laziest,
lynching.
most
What?
hateful people.
Turns out that's how the South still is in a lot of places. And I would never live there. And they was,
Oh, we don't want you.
I know. Because you
were born Muslim, man. Look at him, he's brown. We don't want you anyway. We don't like foreigners.
I know this because you're racist. And I don't want my kids exposed to poison that the new Klan spreads all across the country. And thank you, Tucker. Poison.
I was overweight and looked terrible, but AIDS helped me lose 46 pounds. The AIDS diet plan helped me lose 28 pounds.
And the appetite suppressant in AIDS is not a stimulant.
AIDS helped me to lose 18 pounds, and it doesn't contain anything to make me nervous.
Question, why take diet pills when you can enjoy AIDS?
Starting a chapter is a great step to get engaged, get involved, and maybe you actually might get engaged too. If you start it, you might meet someone you're going to get engaged to. So it's equally good. People say, Charlie, I can't meet anyone. If you want to go meet conservative men that have their act together, that aren't like woke beta men, like start a Turning Point USA chapter. You'll meet a lot of them. Guarantee it.
That was Charlie Kirk at the Young Women's Leadership Summit, which has a great name. And if you're not privy to who Charlie Kirk is, you might be fooled
Grover
into going to
Rogers
the
says,
summit.
love y'all. See you on your next one. See you too,
Yeah,
Grover.
see you on the next one. Hey, what's up, Grover? Thank you. I'll be working on the next video soon. I figured I'd stream a bit before that.
Listen,
But thanks for coming.
Different strokes for different folks. That's like my new favorite thing. I say it all the time.
What'd you do, Mom?
Because there might be women out there who love that model of a relationship.
More power to you.
Now, in my marriage, right? I like to see it as a partnership. We have a partnership, okay? And honestly, one of the hottest things my husband did was physically defend me after someone assaulted me.
I think about it all the time. Super freaking hot.
No one
right?
cares.
Yeah, no one cares.
I know that's a
Why is he
traditional
even
way of
saying
thinking
this?
about masculinity. It is what it is. It's what I like.
Wow. Crazy. You're crazy, girl.
However, I also run the household. And am an earner. And take care of our finances, take care of a lot of things, both untraditional, but also very traditional. I go home, I cook a meal, I clean, but it works for us. But like, what's up with the weird, perverted fantasy of marrying a virgin?
think I'm ready. You know, to have sex. Kind of kinky.
I rid this room with explosives. Premarital sex is a sin. Have fun running in hell, Beth.
I make this room with explosives.
That's why I choose anal sex. I mean, sure, it hurts a little, and I wind up walking funny for a day or two.
Mermaid pure.
But I think my future's worth it.
Okay, she's never been with anyone else.
Exactly.
Okay, I mean, look, but I want to be clear. I agree with Anna. She almost started a religion whose mantra was "You do you, boo." You do you, boo. You do you, boo.
Yes.
Okay.
Still believe it.
So God bless. Okay. So if you agree with Charlie Kirk, well, okay. I mean, that's your life. It's not my life. Okay. I believe in freedom. So go find a manly, conservative guy
who's going to be great to you, by the way, and who's not going to cheat on you, even though you give him all the
looks
power.
like he was trying to prove
kind of
The right wing, notoriously in favor of freedom. But I'll just note for the women who think they want that or are convinced that they want that, financial freedom's really important.
You know?
Back in the day when women didn't have that financial freedom.
Women didn't even have the right to get a credit card without their husband's permission until like the 1970s.
Just some stuff we should remember this country's history a little bit. You know,
history is important.
I know Republicans are trying to burn the books that teach us about that history, but I'm here to remind you about what it was really like for women when they were forced by the government to be submissive to their partners, to their husbands. Now, Candace Owens was there, you know.
Gaggle of great gals.
Like Candace Owens showed up, and she wanted to talk about how she could help women use their femininity to find a good conservative catch. Let's watch.
Men don't like women that act like men, unless they're gay, right? I mean, that's literally like they're looking at a woman and they're thinking, is she going to be the mother of my children? I'm telling you, it's like this weird lie. The more successful I become, the more men are going to want me. And in reality, what it really does is it makes men feel smaller. They don't know what their role is. You guys are now polarized pieces of each other. You know what I mean? You're fighting against each other as opposed to having this symbiotic relationship. Shouldn't you be at home, Candace?
Yeah, go cook me.
Is your husband okay with this? Is this allowed? I mean, doesn't she do a talk show? Your husband must find you super unattractive. He must be disgusted by you.
You don't want to be like this. This is disgusting. This is awful in every way.
I mean, because we all know you're raking in far more than 6 figures.
Honey, we all know that. All right? Grifting away for the white man.
So your husband must hate that, right?
Oh my God.
Your husband must want you to stay at home and continue having babies and to shut your mouth.
Yeah.
Right? What happened? Why are you up on that stage and why are you doing a talk show? Why are you
working?
I mean, you should practice what you preach. What happened? It's so pathetic. It's unbelievable.
So here's my advice to Candace Owens, based on her ideology, not mine. Step 1, shut your mouth.
Shut your mouth. Shut your mouth.
Step 2, retire. Step 3, don't even give that speech.
You're not allowed to.
Okay.
Who cares what you think?
But nobody cares.
Are you leading a conversation?
Yeah,
right now?
why are you leading? You only your
So why are you yapping away, woman? Step 3, go make your husband a sandwich. That's what you're good for. No, they tell you that men will really want successful career women. Women. I don't know anybody says that. Like, you know, the whole world isn't about attracting men.
Right.
Like,
yeah, exactly.
Like, you know, you could just have a successful career because you want to be successful. Because you like to do something in the world. You like to accomplish something. You like to have your own money. You like to have independence.
And let me just
not be dependent on some rando guy.
And that milkshake does, in fact, bring the boys to the yard.
I should know.
Oh my God.
Yes.
My brother who lives in Houston, I said, he's a car collector. I said, you like Ferraris, right? He
Wow.
said, yeah, of course. I said, if we went to the dealership right now, and you could walk on the showroom floor and pick any Ferrari you wanted, and they give you the key, and they give you the title. The only thing they said is you can't test drive it, but you can have it. Would you take it? He goes, of course, I'd be foolish if I didn't. I said, that's right. I found a Ferrari. I ain't got a test driver.
Hot. Can you imagine saving yourself for marriage and just like sleeping with the same, like what if he sucks?
What if he's not into it? What if he, like a lot of conservative men, he's actually gay? You know?
He's actually gay. You know?
The fuck did you just say?
The Republican Party, especially over the last several years, has tried really, really hard to rebrand itself, right? Cool guys, philosopher. Cool guys, philosopher. Cool kids, philosopher. Like,
ooh, populist, right-wing populism.
No, it's the
Oh my
same
God.
stuff. It's super creepy, and I'm not here for that.
And they brought up a model of a kind of male you should marry. This is literally what happened. They brought up Kyle Rittenhouse. Oh, here's somebody who killed 2 people. That's the kind of maniac you should marry.
Cool,
And
definitely want to be led by him.
By the way, it got wild applause. So, hey, have at it, Hoss. Oh, I'm sorry, you got acquitted. You still killed them, Kyle. The only reason why you're famous is because you killed 2 people, and the
Bloodthirsty Republicans and right-wingers love that you killed those people.
And hey, look, now you might get married to someone who likes bloodthirsty men.
You know, shut your mouth.
I should know.
Almost like 8:30.
I'll do 1 or 2 more videos and then I'll probably end it.
Super.
The right-wing theocrats in the Supreme Court have now officially done something that will essentially reverse the expansion of rights that were given to us by the very same courts less than 50 years ago. They have reversed Roe v. Wade.
There is a strong conservative majority in the Supreme Court, and they get to decide to strip us of our rights. And I want to also note that this is unprecedented. This is the first time the Supreme Court is rolling back rights that had been expanded by the Supreme Court decades earlier.
Okay, so we're moving backwards.
This country is devolving.
How do we not win? We are evil.
And for all of the right-wingers that are telling you,
It's okay, everyone calm down. It's up to the states now. It's up to the states to decide.
well, these anti-reproductive rights zealots are currently working on what their next agenda item is, which is ensuring that the federal government codify the ban of reproductive rights, the banning of women being able to make decisions about their own bodies, and considering the
Unbelievable corruption and incompetence
of the mainstream Democratic Party, there's really no fierce opposition preventing the right wing from doing what they've clearly stated they intend to do. And let's just make something very clear here.
I've said it before many times, I'll say it again.
This is not a debate or a discussion about life and death. We have had the distinct pleasure of experiencing the right-wing
death cult
in this country during the global pandemic that has killed over 1 million Americans.
They couldn't be bothered to put a piece of fabric on their faces temporarily, to save people's lives, to stop the spread of a lethal virus. They couldn't be bothered with that. They argued that that was too invasive, that it was a violation of their bodily autonomy.
Oh, it was a violation of their liberties. Nah, these people, they were never, ever sincere about wanting to protect life.
And then they turn around and they tell us, no, we want to control women's bodies because we care about lives.
They never have cared about lives. This is really about power and control.
Yeah, no, you're totally right. Again, it's never been about life. It feels insulting for someone to have to explain that. Like it's so
Blah, 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 blah.
There are going to be women who die directly because of this in red states. Women who desperately need abortions to save their lives. They will be left to die if they can't get access to one in those states. And they will gladly watch those women die. They won't care.
I don't think so, pal.
And it wasn't just that they wouldn't get vaccinated or that they wouldn't wear a mask. It's a larger issue than that they just didn't care that it was happening. Like, it wasn't like, I'm not willing to do the mask to save lives. It doesn't bother me that so many people are dying. They found it more annoying that people talked about it. They found the discussion about possible solutions more inconvenient than the mass death that we were experiencing every single day and still experience. I mean, it's still more than 300 Americans dying every single day.
It doesn't bother me that so many people are dying.
For so many months that if you were to actually stop and think about it, you would break down crying, 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 break down crying. But they just don't care at all. They don't care about life.
They don't care about the kids. The second the kid is born, they're gonna forget about it again. They don't care about that either.
It doesn't bother me that so many people are dying.
They know, as conservative women too, that there is something about women that is
suspect,
that is
suspicious.
It is
supposed to be feared,
and it definitely is
supposed to be controlled.
And the fact that there might be a female pilot is supposed to reduce a conservative men to shaking and bawling.
My first wife was targeted. She's a pilot now.
And importantly, they will get no pleasure from this in the end. Have you noticed that Republicans are never any happier after they win?
You ever looked in the mirror and thought, huh, Christ, what is that?
You know, when no gun control happens, they're more scared and angry after. When Trump won, they were more angry than they were during the Trump years.
When Trump won, they were more angry than they were during the Trump years.
What the fuck does that even mean?
And there's a reason for that. It is because when you pursue in politics things that have no effect on your life and only have a negative effect on other people, it necessarily cannot improve your lot in life. Conservatives who right now are tweeting about how great it is that the hoes are going to learn, and I'm sure you've seen many tweets like that.
Have you noticed that Republicans are never any happier after they win?
Because some woman you're never going to meet is going to be forced to bear like the
incestuous rape child
that's been forced on her? Is that going to improve your lot in life? It isn't. They are left after every victory more angry, more hollow, more bitter, because their life is still the crap that it was going into this process.
You ever looked in the mirror and thought, Christ, fuck!
They want to lean in aggressively on these culture war issues because they don't want you to pay attention to the fact that they're robbing you. So congratulations, gentlemen, for all the morons out there who are celebrating today because they think
the hoes will learn now. The hoes be knowing, okay? The hoes be knowing.
Graveyard.
all politics is devolved into for right-wing voters at this point is owning the libs. That's it. Owning the libs.
One day I got here sooner, but very glad you're here. Hey, what's up, Sloth? Thank you for coming, man. We don't got too much longer to go. Probably gonna watch this one and one more video, and we're gonna end it. But unless I get some guests on, but everybody's kind of busy today. But we can do it another time. For the rest of this week, I might not stream again, possibly, but I'm gonna be working on the next video soon.
Own the libs. They laugh about it for a few hours, and then they go back to their sad lives.
Screw them, rob them, and they love it. So enjoy that. The hoes be knowing.
The hoes be knowing.
Yeah, and as I'm sure you talked about it on the Damage Report this morning, I'm sure you will here too. Like, how easy would it be to beat that?
They don't care about you. Let's just be very clear.
That's what I'm saying.
They don't care about you. They don't care, and not just you, John. All of us. The Democratic Party, the mainstream Democratic Party today, gave us a massive middle finger.
Okay.
Oh, I do have a little treat today after we watch the next video, Volume 10. After that, I have a little treat because Sean told us yesterday about that Rashad Ritchie update on the Citibank, and I still have that open. So we'll probably watch that, and I'll react to that quickly before, I think it's like a 10-minute video. So after the next volume and we're done with that, well, I'll do that real quick.
A useless, pathetic shell of a woman, step down immediately. You are not fit to lead anything. You are garbage. You are not fit to fight. You couldn't fight your way out of a wet paper bag.
You couldn't fight your way out of a wet paper bag with scissors in your hands.
House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, including the rest of Democratic leadership,
needs to step the hell down.
They are rolling back our rights. And if you think it stops at reproductive rights, you're sadly mistaken. They're coming for
gay marriage.
They're coming for
contraception.
In fact, Clarence Thomas made that abundantly clear. He wants to allow states to regulate what kind of sex you're engaging in.
Oh, that's hot. That's hot.
These people are creeps, okay? Here's what non-creeps don't do, okay? Non-creeps don't sit around thinking about anal sex among other people who are in relationships. I don't think about other people having anal sex.
Why not, you stupid bastard?
Conservative justices, along with the right-wing movement in this country, they can't stop thinking about anal sex. It's on the mind all the time.
That is awesome.
They don't care about the incestuous rape child.
The hoes be knowing.
The hoes be knowing.
He enjoys cold beer and hot music. Says that he and his mom don't see eye to eye on his love life. And he claims that his job has cost him several relationships. Please welcome
Robert Fagan.
Texas has a group of educators that are trying to influence upcoming historical lessons in ways that I think you might be able to guess how this is going.
So a group of Texas educators have proposed to the Texas State Board of Education that slavery should be taught as involuntary relocation during second grade social studies instruction.
During second grade.
So, look, they've got all sorts of fake words that are cleaned up versions of reality.
During second grade.
So you remember Dick Cheney did enhanced interrogation. So how was it enhanced? It was enhanced by doing torture. That's what it was.
During second grade.
We're talking about second grade.
And they just put a slightly more technical term on it to clean it up.
During second grade.
And now slavery is apparently involuntary relocation.
Yeah, well, that's what you teach second graders.
Well, okay, involuntary doesn't sound too good, but hey, you're relocating. That's bad, but it.
Well, if it's not that bad, you guys mind if we
involuntarily relocate you?
Right wingers?
Oh, did we forget the part about the whippings and the lynchings and the murders and the rapes and the taking away of your kids and treating you as property and making you do all the work?
During second grade.
The second grade's like 6 and 7.
Oh, you wanted to leave that out?
So
why? Because you want to lie about history. Why? Because
you still kind of like it.
So now that's the part that they're going to say, oh, no, that's not true.
Really? I hated slavery. I don't mind teaching it because I think it was terrible. We should never do it again. Why would I mind teaching that?
During second grade.
To 7-year-olds, Jay?
You mind teaching it. Why do you mind teaching it? Think about it. You mind it because you think,
oh, that was us. That was me. I don't know.
You're weirdly self-defensive about it.
During second grade.
If you're white, it doesn't mean you did it. That's not what it means.
Okay, look, I'm Turkish here. Maybe this could help relate. Turks had a giant empire, did a lot of terrible things, okay? I didn't do it. And it doesn't mean I go and say, oh, don't ever teach it.
During second grade.
When you say,
no, don't do it, don't teach it, don't. During second grade.
That basically means like, was it so bad?
That's way different than all Turkish people are guilty for this, or all white people are guilty for that.
Yes, there's no harm in teaching actual history.
During second grade.
Unless you think it wasn't so bad. Okay, can I say, well, you know what? I'm a parent in a school. I feel discomfort that they're teaching the Armenian genocide.
Yes, you can.
Boom,
Yeah. Especially
veto.
in second
now
grade.
They can't teach
sure
it. That's insane. How do I get the veto? Well, I felt discomfort, right? Can Germans
But
say
we
that's it?
needed
You're not allowed to teach
racism
about the
taught to
Nazis?
kindergartners. This is too far.
I feel discomfort. Can Nazis who are not German say, I feel discomfort that you're saying the Nazis are bad?
Nonsense, mate.
You're not allowed to teach facts anymore if idiot right-wingers feel uncomfortable. Man, science is making.
And by the way, this is very real, guys.
You get to 2 + 2 = 4, and you think, oh, come on, right?
No, they took out math books in Florida because they claimed it was talking about critical race theory.
And then they found out later, oh, it just mentioned a black guy. Oh, come on.
Oh, come on. During second grade.
Would you, as Attorney General, be comfortable defending a law that once again outlawed sodomy?
Yeah, I mean, there's all kinds of issues here, but certainly the Supreme Court has stepped into issues that I don't think there was any constitutional provision dealing with. They were legislative issues, and this is one of those issues, and there may be more.
The
weirdo
and pervert that you just heard from is Ken Paxton, the Attorney General of the state of Texas, but are concerned about whether or not you're engaging in
butt love, derriere delights in your bedroom.
Not really sure how they would basically
delights.
enforce it. Maybe they're gonna ask for surveillance cameras in your bedroom.
Okay, now you have my attention.
Sitting around thinking about whether or not couples are having
butt love.
We're going to prevent what kind of sex you can have inside your own home.
Butt love, derriere delights.
Yeah.
No, but remember, this is the party that claims they're for freedom.
Again, JonTron has a lot of good little.
An important twist for folks who don't know: sodomy means anal or oral sex.
That's right.
And it doesn't say anything about gay or straight. Anal or gay or straight. Oral sex.
Butt love, derriere delights.
It's just the word is sodomy. It could apply to either anal or oral sex. Receiving or giving oral sex in Texas, gay or straight.
Butt love, derriere delights.
Oral sex. Anal or oral sex. You do oral sex or you receive oral sex, we're going to put you in prison because we're the party that believes in freedom.
I am not a proponent of the nanny state.
I got a lot of.
And I'm not a proponent of the pervert
over
state.
here, too.
They're sitting around thinking about whether or not you're having butt sex. Or whether or not
I had
your
one
wife
rupee
gave you a
before
little
I hit that.
warning.
No, I got 102.
So you shoot it? I always tried to cat when you catch it, but you hit it and it gets.
That's it. That's all they're thinking about.
They're perverts and they're creeps.
I guarantee you, the young Republicans right now go,
No, they're not going to really do that, man. They're not really
they'll do
doing
it,
that.
trust
Okay.
me.
and then the older Republicans like,
Yes, I want to do that.
right? because they're Christian zealots and they're like,
oh no, my God says you have to do this and you can't do that, and I can't wait to bust into your house.
You know, Lawrence v. Texas, that case was about Texas cops that busted into someone's house and caught them in the middle of sex. Caught them in the
There's a
middle of
third
sex.
one next to him. Should
No,
I
you
use?
would have to assign people to be on the pervert squad, meaning they're gonna be peeping toms that are looking for anybody.
Are they having oral sex? Are they? Are they having anal sex? What kind of sex are they having? Let's spy in on them. They're breaking it. Got you.
And then of course the cops take their pants down
and they beat off, and then they're like, oh yeah, afterwards we're gonna arrest you because we don't like what you're doing. And then they beat off.
We covered a story a while back. Republicans were trying to outlaw some sort of porn, and they're like, yeah, but now we have to watch it in order to outlaw it.
Do you?
And
do you
all the Republicans are like, I'll do it. I'll do the wrong kind of porn. I'll watch it. I'll be on the list. They're all perverts. Ken Paxton's a peeping Ken. He can't wait to make sodomy illegal so he can watch everybody do it and then arrest them for it after he got off. Anal or
butt love,
oral sex.
exterior delights.
And they beat off, and
I have something for you.
From you to me.
Oh, which one is that?
Anal.
Awesome.
Oh, honey, you don't want to do it.
Huh?
It's okay if you don't want to do it. It's the thought that counts.
That is my dick to you, so.
It's like myself.
They put tampons in men's bathrooms.
And they're just this.
Yeah, for the war on women.
That was Marjorie Taylor Greene commenting on the tampon shortage that we're experiencing. And she doesn't want to blame it on supply chain issues, the war in Russia, and the high cost of cotton. No, she's decided to blame it on
tampons being available in men's bathrooms.
None of it makes sense, but who knows? Maybe I'm wrong. Okay, maybe I'm the crazy one.
How did she survive?
Why not just go in the
to
men's
this point in her
bathroom
life?
Russia?
They're putting the tampons in the men's bathrooms. Not a joke, not a lie.
Okay, yeah.
What?
Not at all.
Where exactly are they putting? They're putting the tampons in the.
Putting the tampons.
Why? Why? Like where do the tampons go?
Look.
Where do you put your tampons, lady? Like what are you talking about?
Look, she's so dumb that if she wasn't a politician attacking other people and causing damage in the world, I wouldn't allow anybody to attack her.
Right, because you feel like you're attacking someone who might have a serious,
No, I'm being totally serious.
Yeah, I am too.
Yeah, like I'd almost want to protect her, like poor girl, right? Like.
It is not like no one's, for women who actually do need to use this product, okay, once a month, it's not like they're like,
I love it when it's that time of the month and I get to use a tampon.
Like, no one's excited to wear tampons. Like, the idea, like, women aren't excited to wear tampons.
No.
The idea that, like,
transgender people who don't menstruate are like,
oh God, I can't wait to use it.
It's like the most nonsensical, insane, crazy stuff I've ever heard in my life. It's so stupid.
None of it makes any sense. But I wouldn't give it a second thought for a second. Like, is that a national, emergency? Is that a thing that we should?
Oh my God!
That crazy stuff I've ever heard in my life.
But nonetheless, we have more from Marjorie Greene on this, where she says,
she makes note of the way the people who menstruate are being referred to. People who menstruate can't find tampons. Has anyone checked the warehouses at the border where all the baby formula?
I can't. She's just.
No,
too
I know.
It's too stupid. Like I can't do it.
She's like, well, I had to.
I can't do it.
She's like, well, I had to blame the other boogeyman that we have. They say, oh, the immigrants coming across the border, they're the ones who rigged the system. How could they rig the system? They just crossed the border. They weren't even here before. They're not even rich. They have no power at all. Isn't it your donors that are rigging the system that have all the money and power?
No, it's the immigrants. And they took our baby formula and our tampons.
Let's go to the next story.
Next story. Next story. Somebody's gonna take my stapler. Next story. Don't take my stapler.
All right, okay. Oh, God.
I don't know.
Mom, I've got to ask you something real personal. Do you douche?
Breaking news, President Joe Biden is poised to nominate a right-wing, anti-abortion federal judge.
Now, keep in mind, this is a deal that Biden is making with the other side, with the Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell, even though Democrats hold a majority in Congress. Ostensibly in exchange, get a load of this, for the Senate Minority Leader agreeing not to hold up future federal nominations by the Biden White House.
What? Right.
First of all, the deal is garbage. You're garbage. Like, I would not take that deal. I would not even
entertain
that deal. Do you actually take him at his word, you moron? I can't F the Democrats, F Biden. I do not support him. I will not vote for him. I will not tell a single soul to vote for him. He is not our friend, just not. And I don't want to hear from a damn centrist about how dangerous, dangerous the Republican Party is. I'm just not interested, because even when Democrats are in charge, they let the Republican Party take over. They just do. Okay, someone else to run for the Democratic Party, because I, under no circumstance at this point, will support Biden. I don't trust Biden. I don't like Biden. I think that he is a feckless, disgusting, corrupt tool for corporate America, and honestly, at this point, for the right-wing religious zealots in this country. In exchange for what? Mitch McConnell allowing for, the confirmation hearings for your nominees? Who cares? Who cares? First of all, who cares about that?
Well, I do.
I just don't get it, man. This party is embarrassing. I can't support them. I don't support them. I can't. They should tell them to go back to bed and let a progressive run.
I can't, I don't, and I won't.
No.
I don't even care who at this point. Just get him out. I hate this man with every fiber of my being at this point.
Oh my God.
How are they going to fearmonger about the right wing when they aid and abet them? No, it's beyond shameful.
No.
I do not support Joe Biden. I will not vote for him under any circumstance. Sorry. This is it. This is the nail in the coffin for me. He shouldn't run in 2024. It would be the biggest mistake for the Democratic Party to run with Joe Biden on the Democratic ticket. Don't do it. I ain't gonna support it. I'm not gonna vote shame either. But if you're a centrist watching the show and you're rolling your eyes at what I'm saying,
don't do it. But I'm not gonna vote.
You're
shame
part of the
either.
problem too.
Kind of
Sit
goes hand
down.
in hand.
Oh, did you see that shooting star?
Come on, man.
Come on, man.
Oh.
Like.
Oh, actually, I might end it there for the videos because I forgot number 10 was banned by
It's not
YouTube.
there, right?
Yeah, so it's not there. So let's save that, and I will bring this other video over. Okay, let's watch what Rashad Ritchie has to say about this. City Bike Karen is his update of what he has to do.
Ago, after a video went viral of a worker, a few days ago, after a video went viral of a worker in a healthcare system, was going back and forth with a young black male about a bike. We reported on it. There is an update. Now, I want to provide proper context to this update. Let me remind you of the video. Here it is.
Help me! Please help me! It's not your bike. Please help me! It's not your bike. Please help me! Help! Please get off me! Please get off me! Yo, don't take it, bro. Now you're not getting a bike, bro.
We are aware of the video involving a healthcare provider off-duty and away from hospital campus. The incident in the video is disturbing. The provider is currently out on leave and will remain on leave pending a review. As a health system, we are committed to providing an environment for our patients and staff that is free of discrimination of any kind. I also want to point out that in his original video, Rashad called Bellevue.
Yeah.
I guess because he's from the South and not from New York, he doesn't realize you don't pronounce that second E in it.
It's his.
Now, this is what I was talking about yesterday here. Whoever the idiot was, who's his engineer, who wrote this, messed up big time, as you can see, because he wrote Impotzer. And that's not even the name. The name of the account is @ImposterEdits. So they didn't even credit him properly. Go back a little. They didn't even credit him properly, and then they misspell his name.
Yeah.
But I was talking about this yesterday, that I think this whole thing started from that guy posting this video, because that's the first one I saw, and it was him. It even shows it here. Footage was shared across Twitter, including by the account @Impotzer, which is not the name, but who wrote, "This lady tried her best to weaponize her tears." So what it is that guy, Imposter Edits, I follow him because he's super aggressive, posts a bunch of, if you look at his bio, it says he's Antifa and all this stuff, and he's constantly posting all this crazy regressive SJW stuff. So I'm following him, and this is the first person I saw that posted was this person. And everybody, if you watch Rashad Ritchie, TYT, whoever it was who reposted this to talk, even that one fat dude with the beard, they all are posting his tweet of it. So I think this guy's the one who started the concept that she was trying to weaponize her tears, and that she was the one trying to steal the bike or whatever. I think he was the one who started that. So everybody who watched it, instead of like verifying what's going on, they just believed the initial joke that they saw, and just believed that this guy just made something up, and they just bought it and said, "Oh, that's what's happening here," you know. And it's like, yeah, that's what happens when you listen to idiots on the internet and don't verify.
Stop fake crying. He's fake crying. Stop fake crying. Hey, stop touching me. I want to touch you. Hold up. Hey, stop touching me. Stop touching me.
I like how they're screaming at her, "Stop touching me," when they're literally
touching her
pregnant belly, and she's saying, "I'm pregnant, stop touching my belly, stop touching," and then they're yelling, "Stop touching." Well, don't touch her, and she won't touch you. Let's see some of these things here. Not a hospital employee behaving like this. I mean, behaving like a person who's in distress from having a bicycle robbed. The best thing to do is take the whole video and show it to her employer. Bet you money she does this to a lot of people, including people at work. They should do that, and they probably have. I'm sure the employers have seen that video, and now that they've seen the receipts that she's produced, they're like, "Oh, she's not our
We were in the wrong, yeah.
Too bad this Chris/Bob Andrews, which I'm guessing is a transgender person, because their name is Chris and Bob, and it looks like a werewolf. So it's strange. But in the end, yeah, they're wrong then.
The hospital released.
One of my favorite things about Rashad Ritchie is that he paints in because I guess the
That is so painted on
yeah, you
here.
can tell, but the top of his hair is like probably thinning because he's getting
Yeah.
older, so you can tell that he colors it in. So it's like, you know, those old school things where they would spray on, like the spray on hair. That's what he's using, and then they put a line across. But when you look, it's almost always
It's
crooked.
crooked.
Even now, his head is tilted, but it's straight, right? So that means when his head is gonna be straight, you're gonna see that that line is crooked, right?
If
Released a
it's
statement they did put
asymmetrical,
her
it'll
on
look more
leave.
Yeah,
realistic, is what they're going
look
for.
at it here where I paused it. His head is more
Yes.
straight. Look how crooked that line is.
The video was viewed more than
Remember
35
that
million
commercial
times.
we watched
The
with those
attorney is now
guys
saying,
spraying
Yeah,
on
that's
their
what it is.
hair? Oh
Yeah,
my god.
that's what it is. When I was younger in the '90s, those when I would watch TV late at night, there was tons of infomercials on that where you look spray on hair, but it's really like you're just black spray painting your head.
the
That's
He
what
entire
it
looks
is.
like
narrative
Mr.
was taken out of
Magoo.
context.
Yeah,
Let me provide to you the update, and I will opine as well.
and then his
So
little mustache that looks like he's been eating out a butthole
Yeah.
right before he goes.
there's
Bro,
a
you might
new
want to clean
twist,
that up or something.
shall we say, in the
Yeah,
viral
you might want to wipe your upper lip when you're done eating butthole.
city bike confrontation that saw a New York City healthcare worker get into a heated argument with a group of young black men. Her lawyer said she did, in fact, pay for the bike and has the receipts to prove it. The 90-second clip, which has been viewed more than 35 million times since it was posted on May 13th, shows this healthcare worker, Sarah Comrie, straddling the two-wheeler as she argues
two-wheeler?
with a man right next to her, claiming it's his.
Two-wheeler.
Help me,
Weller.
she says. Please help me, she yells.
Because she needed
She
help.
can be
That's why
heard
she yelled.
shouting loudly as the video starts.
Right.
So while
'cause she
many
needed help.
blasted the hospital and blasted the hospital worker for potentially putting the young man's safety at risk, her lawyer said Thursday that the entire incident is being taken out of context and his client is being bombarded with threats. Every part of their story is incorrect, he said.
That's
Starting
true.
with my
He's
client
not wrong.
is not a racist. 2, my client did not take anyone else's bike, said lawyer Justin Marino. He pointed to receipts Ms. Comrie provided that NBC New York examined. They show a rental for a bike 560-3915, which lasted just 1 minute. Freezing the now viral video, it shows that the code on the bike she and the other man are feuding about says 560-3915. NBC New York did reach out to City Bike to confirm the rental, and they would do this to make sure it's not some kind of phony receipt. And if anyone else reserved it around that time to see if there's possibly a good faith basis for both arguments. But the company did not respond
Hey,
immediately.
Sean.
Hey, Sean. We're actually watching. Oh, can you hear me, Sean?
Are you streaming?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Right.
No, he can't hear me. Hold on a second.
Can you
Tell him.
hear Sean? I mean, can you hear Alf?
I can hear you. I haven't heard Alf talk.
Why can't he hear me?
Yeah, his.
If I could hear you, but you
Now
are
you
coming
can,
in
huh?
a little low.
Really? I'm not even. Oh, there it goes. Now I'm lighting up. I wasn't even lighting up in here. I don't understand.
Yeah, we're having audio issues today.
I don't know what's up with these audio issues I'm having. I really don't understand how to fix them. I'm so lost. But I don't know if you're watching, but we're watching that Rashad Ritchie update video.
Oh, I have not been watching. I just finished shooting 2 videos.
Oh.
Oh, nice.
If you wanna, you know what I can do is this, so we can all watch together without you guys being behind on the stream.
Oh, I'm jumping in.
Yeah, that way we can watch at the same time. You don't have to be lagging. But thanks for coming, Sean. We're about to end soon anyway, though, so you're here at the last second. You bastards. That's okay.
I would pop in before just because, you know, I don't want to leave you high and dry.
Nah, it's all good. No sweat. What 2 videos are you working on? Let's give some people a sneak peek. What are the topics?
I decided to take a break from this like Karen thing. I'll probably shoot something on this tomorrow. This specific Rashad Ritchie video.
Right.
It's so good.
Yeah, we won't go
But,
into like a detailed analysis or anything because that's what your video will be for. Here we'll do like a little comment, right? Like,
Oh, my video is not going to be that detailed. Although here's a plot twist surprise. So I looked into that mayor guy from his first video, right?
Mm-hmm.
That dude is the worst mayor in the country.
Really?
Really?
He's the mayor of Edinburgh, North Carolina, which is a town of 1,800 people, and they voted to like destroy a Confederate monument. I'm sorry, to remove a Confederate monument. So he live streamed the destruction of this monument, like with the bulldozer. Like they were just supposed to remove it. And he was like, yeah, Confederacy defeated. Yeah. Like he was so excited. It turns out, though, that they had been adding, like, so it started as a Confederate monument in like 1920.
Mm-hmm.
But they had been adding like the names of veterans from like World War II,
Oh,
from this
man.
small town, and Vietnam. So they were supposed to like just remove it, and this idiot like tried to destroyed it with a bulldozer,
Oh
literally,
my God.
and put it up and like publish it to like Facebook Live. And then
Mm-hmm.
his black police chief resigned and recommended him to the state for investigation
Oh
for
my
destroying
God.
this monument, right? And then it came out that he didn't have any officers. Like he couldn't run his little police department. So he was like begging the sheriff's deputies and like the state police to do the basic patrols. And there was like a little notice that said, "Hey, you'll get paid overtime if you cover these shifts in Edinburgh." And it's like every shift for the rest of the month, like all
Oh
of them,
my God.
100% of them.
Wow.
So like that guy sucks. Oh, and like
But that's
crime
funny
is like,
because it's really like a veterans monument at that point, right? Like by the time you start adding all these other like war veterans that have died in war, it's no longer like a Civil War thing, right? It's just
yeah.
a general American veterans thing. Also, Sean,
Well,
before you continue, Julian, thank you for the super chat. He says, "Hey Sean, how are you? You're a Chad for living in NYC."
well, thank you, Julian.
Yes, and thank you, Julian, too, from me. You're the
I'm
best.
doing it. I would say it. The thing is like, was it like put up for like racist reasons in 1920? Yeah, like the Confederate monuments that went up in 1920. That's like the resurgence of the Klan. Like we get that, but like it changed into something else, and he was supposed to like take it down with like class, not bulldoze it for Facebook Live. Like he's basically like John Fetterman, where he's the mayor of a small town,
Right.
but like to make himself famous.
But he doesn't wear sweat shorts and boots.
He does. He does. In the
He
press
does.
conference, he
Oh my
does.
God. I
No.
was joking like he wouldn't. It ends up he actually does. That's crazy. Oh my God. What do you think that's a big deal that Fetterman does these things without dressing up, or what do you think about that?
Look, I don't care about like decorum,
Mm-hmm.
like in the same way that a lot of people do. Like I
Right.
remember Sagar was like, "How dare you wear jeans in the White House?" And I'm like, "Shut up."
Yeah, it's not that serious. I think if you're doing like an official like Senate thing or something like that, maybe you should dress up like. But if you're just doing like a quick announcement or like a press conference or something, I don't think it matters as much. But when you're working in an official capacity, then you probably should.
Well,
you know.
I'll tell you like the Fetterman thing that
Hmm.
is ridiculous. So John Fetterman does it to be like he's like this everyman thing. He's
Right.
not. He's a Harvard educated dude who lived off of his parents until he became the mayor of a small town. Like the year before he was mayor, he got $55,000 from his parents.
Wow.
Wow.
Like so
Yeah, I remember he's a rich kid.
it's yeah, it's all fake, right? But like and it is weird when you see a press conference and all these senators are in suits and he's in like a hoodie.
Yeah, people are posting Twitter pics of all their like legs. Basically, it's just their legs, and you see all the slacks and nice shoes on everyone, and then you just see the shorts
Bare
and the
legs.
boots and the Tims and shit, Timberland boots. Like, what the
I
heck?
saw somebody try to like debunk this. They showed a picture of Ted Cruz and they're like, Ted Cruz is wearing gym clothes on the Senate floor. And it's like Ted Cruz is walking back to his office from the Senate gym.
Yeah, he wasn't doing anything in an official capacity. Right? He was using the gym.
Like I think that's
Ridiculous.
too go hard that Ted Cruz has
Yeah.
to wear a suit to the gym and
Yeah,
then
that's ridiculous.
change and then change back.
Yeah, that's a bit much.
He was born in a suit.
Hmm. What's the other video you were gonna you said? Two, right?
Oh, so the other one is like so oh no, so that one that's later. So
Hmm.
the one that I'm working on is an LA like this Asian guy in LA, his store got robbed the night before, and then when he goes to report that his store is robbed, people show up and they beat him into like basically like a coma and rob him
Oh.
again.
Jesus.
Yeah. So
Wow.
they like loot all the clothes from his store, and then when he reports it the next morning, like
That's
it's
terrible.
it's bru- oh it's even worse. So his girlfriend moved to Arizona because of crime. She also opened a store. So this was like his last like month maybe in LA. Like where he was gonna move with her, like close up shop and all that, and like he gets robbed twice, and like like broken skull, like they're just like
Oh
beating this
no.
guy,
Oh, no.
kicking his
This
head in
poor
when he's on
guy.
the ground.
That's sad.
Yeah. So that's one, and then the other one is like this Chicago robbery spree where it's like these guys steal a Kia or it's a Hyundai, and they they commit 10 robberies in 30 minutes, and it's just like, oh well, it's
God.
Chicago. It's like on Sunday morning too.
I was watching a video um, earlier. I don't know if you saw it. It's been going around today, but it's a guy who robbed from a Dollar General, and the manager chased him down on the car and rams him off his bike because it's a bicycle he's running away on. It's like an older, like a obese black woman basically is the manager, and she comes in her car and hits him off his bicycle, knocking all the merchandise everywhere, and then she comes out and grabs it. And the guy is complaining. He's like, everybody robbed from your store. What's the big deal? She's like, give me my shit back. She's like, it's basically they've been getting robbed for a long time and she's sick of it, right? So she like chased the guy down. But I saw a communist Twitter post out and say, for something that's pocket change for this corporation, so somebody's gonna hit someone with a car. This is totally not, like proportionate. I'm like, well, if you keep getting robbed, you get tired of it. You got to make an example for the neighborhood, kind of, right? Like, I can't blame her too much because it's like she's finally fed up with it and put her foot down and is making an example, for the neighborhood. Like, stop robbing from us or I'll chase you down and run you off your bike.
Yeah, it's like you keep letting this happen, and eventually you're gonna get more vigilante justice. Like,
Right.
you know,
Right.
I just saw Devin posted a photo of Emmett Till with did do and Brock Turner with didn't do next to him.
Oh no. People are gonna get so upset about that one. But it's
But
funny, it's great. I mean, ever since Devin paid for that check mark, he's been getting such great interaction and stuff like.
Yeah.
And his numbers are just skyrocketing. I'm trying to tell him to start posting like Twitter has subscribers now. They pay monthly, and I'm like, that's another way you can get, like you got banned off Patreon. There's another way that's basically Patreon, right? People pay you monthly, and you can just post your full videos on Twitter.
yeah, he's gotta apply for that subscription thing. It takes
Yeah,
forever. I
it
applied a
does.
long time
I'll,
ago.
I'll, I'll, I'll tell him to apply sooner than later, then if it takes a while, right? So that he can get the process go. His appeal worked too. I don't know if you saw that. He appealed that the strike he got on the suspension he got on Twitter. He appealed it and it went through. They took it away.
Yeah, I just like applied. I mean, Devin has to not call people names on Twitter. That's like the one thing that they still get mad at. Did you see, by the way, the
I've gotten
fake?
warnings for that too.
Did you see the fake Facebook post that says that the black kids were totally innocent in this?
No.
No.
Oh yes. I saw that fat guy that everybody's been
Yeah,
fighting with. I saw him post it, but he actually said it was fake too. So it
so
wasn't like he was backing
he
it up.
actually didn't bite on it. But
No,
that's
yeah.
what happened with the TJ Maxx one. They put out that fake Facebook post, if you remember.
Well, what TJ Maxx?
Remember the guy, the old white guy who stopped like the black women that were robbing TJ Maxx?
No, I don't remember that.
Yeah, it was like they were like looting like the TJ Maxx, and he stops them like, as they're like exiting the door, and they try to fight him, but it's like he's a dude, like game
Yeah.
over. And people were saying, "Oh, there's no proof that they were even stealing anything." And I'm like, "Yeah, when I don't steal something,
I tend to fight the security guard.
I run up to a guy saying stop and throw a punch at him."
I too punch people. Yeah, it makes no sense. I have another thing we can react to after this one too. I put out a tweet today that's doing pretty well. I've gotten some pretty good numbers on it. You retweeted it, Devin retweeted it, a bunch of people are retweeting it, but it was that that like it was like a PSA on the train, on a subway train, where I'm like, this has never happened in real life. Nobody acts like this on a train. But we, being people who live near New York, and Sean living in New York City, we've been on subways many times, like and we can respond to what's surreal about that, right? And we can go through
Like
that, but
it should be telling that like I lived here. I've taken the train so many times, and
yeah.
like now I'll actively avoid it as much as possible.
Yeah. But having that experience, you know that the way they portray subways is so
Yeah.
surreal in that, like those things never happen in that way. But yeah, let's
There,
go on with this Rashad Ritchie
sure,
video.
but there's one more thing. Like
Mhm.
I'm probably gonna do this in the future. So this is like a not even shot video sneak preview.
Mhm.
But I learned that like 400,000 people are not paying for the train every day in the city of New York.
Oh yeah,
And
I've seen that. I've seen I forgot what I saw, but somebody did a video on that about how people hardly anybody even pays for it. Like most
Yeah.
half the time people are jumping it, or they open that emergency door and everybody just goes through there.
it's like 13% of riders are not paying for it anymore. So like it used to be the reason you would arrest them is because like the people who are going in to rob people and all that never really cared about paying for the train. So this was like a way to get people out, and like like we don't, chances are like Jordan Neely, I don't know this, I'm just speculating, like
Mhm.
probably didn't pay for the train. If he would have been stopped, then they would have arrested him, his warrant would have popped, and like he would never been in that scenario. So it's like so many other ancillary crimes in the subway would have been prevented.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's a good point. It would, if you just kept up with that. I'm sure most people who are going to commit a crime on a subway are probably not paying, what I'm saying, the turnstile to get through. So it kind of makes sense that if you were able to enforce more when people break the turnstile or go through it, that you could
It's
stop
not even about
crimes.
committing, it's not even just committing crimes on the subway. Like
Mhm.
if like you're like a 16-year-old kid and you're going to
Mhm.
the city to rob people,
Mhm.
chances are you're also jumping the
Yeah,
turnstile.
exactly. Yeah, that's true. Let's watch the rest of it. So far in the first 3 minutes, he's just going recapping the story, right? Also, I pointed out earlier, you didn't see it, but he misspelled imposter, that guy's web Twitter. The imposter edits guy, and they put impotser. I was like, damn, that's how bad these people are, that they can't even spell the word imposter properly. Like,
Copy editors are white supremacy now.
yeah, yeah, right. Being a grammar Nazi, a spelling Nazi, is a white supremacist thing.
The attorney said it's not possible.
Can you hear it,
for someone else
Sean?
to
I can
Yeah,
hear
yeah,
it.
hear it.
have a reservation
Can you
for
turn
that
it up
same
a
bike,
little bit?
Yeah.
saying
Just
Commerce
let me
receipt
know.
confirms
Let me know when you want me to pause and stuff.
the bike she was on was rented by her. The video ends with Ms. Comrie getting on another bike, which her lawyer has a receipt for as well, proving she rode that one home. The men in the video have not yet been identified. I do encourage them to be transparent about their particular point of view. The NYPD reiterated
this?
Thursday there were no 911 calls.
So the fact that they haven't been identified is like this lost portion of the story, because there actually is no other side to this. Like
Yeah.
we have
Yeah,
we have
we have heard nothing from the other guys, right? Like it's just been, she's the only one that we've heard anything from.
yeah, we have the people making stuff up about the video, like Rayshad Ritchie, and then what you call it, and then you have the evidence that was presented by her side, which by the way they say is fake evidence, because the New York Post and the NBC News agreed not to publish the station that she's at, like where she drops off her bike, and the time that she gets out of work, right? Which is what she is being redacted. But if you read both articles, they say they examined the original receipts to confirm them. So they've seen it. It's just a condition of it is that they don't want it published, and the serial numbers match and all that. But like, get a load of how skeptical Rayshad is going to be of everything.
Okay.
Like,
Yeah, like you came in at the right time, because so far he's just been updating. He hasn't really given an opinion or anything yet, so that's good.
There was no report of any incident. And if anyone believes they were in fact a victim, they should come forward to local authorities. So let me contextualize this properly, okay?
Okay.
Naturally, we reported on the viral video as the facts were presented at that time. By the time we
No,
reported on
you're
this
gonna have to
video,
pause that right
well,
there.
there was no actual.
As the facts were reported at the time, there were no facts reported at the time. Right? It was what would you call it? It was an assumption made by the imposter
Yeah.
edits guy. I was just mentioning this before you came in because he brought up again. He showed that imposter edits one, and I was brought it up again that I think that's the person who started this whole concept. That it was, that she was the perpetrator here instead of the victim. And
Yeah.
everybody just bit on what he said and just took his word for it. Somebody who had nothing to do with the situation.
Oh, him first, then Ben Crump.
Yeah, and everybody followed. I think Ben Crump even was using that guy's video, that guy's tweet to comment on.
Rayshad, Mr. I was going on the facts that were reported at the time, and there was no statement. It's like, first of all, that's not journalism. Like that, you're making guesses. There were no facts. Period.
Yeah, there was zero facts on it. You just saw a video that was out of context, and you just believed things that had nothing to do with it.
He was like, she was a thug, and
obviously,
and the other guy's like, she should be charged with assaulting her own unborn baby.
Oh my god!
Yeah,
Did you say
that
that? I
was
missed that
someone.
one. Who
He
said
should
that?
be charged as an unborn. Was it this? What
The
guy
other
said
guy,
that?
the mayor.
Right.
Oh my god!
Her as a mother should be called into question because of what
I
she's
didn't know.
done.
That's crazy. I did not.
All we had, and I it should be emphasized like every single time. All we had was an argument. Worst case scenario, the woman mistakenly grabbed the wrong bike, because there is no way in hell on God's green earth a pregnant woman off a 12-hour shift is going to walk up to a group of 5 black teens and try to rob them of a rentable bike. Obviously, she thought it was her bike from the jump. They didn't even report that as a possibility.
Right.
But like, again, watch Rayshad get fucking super sketchy.
Actual statement yet from the other side. The hospital had a statement at that time, and they were troubled by what they saw as well. So were we.
Pause that.
Now,
Pause that.
if-
Pause that. Pause
if-
that.
And
Pause
they
that,
were
pause that.
troubled
This is-
about what we saw.
So he's like, the hospital had a statement. It's like, yeah, after you guys said that the hospital was racist, and according to Rayshad, that she should be fired because obviously they can't care for black patients in this hospital. If they don't fire her. The hospital put out a statement saying that they're looking into this. Like, please stop harassing us.
Yeah. But he's
Like-
taking it as they agreed with us. They didn't agree. They put out a very soft statement about it, right? They were like, we're going to look into it. She's on suspension for now until we figure it out. Yeah.
Oh, they didn't agree, but like they were scared, so they put out a statement that they put her on administrative leave, like which they shouldn't have done. Like, first of all, this has nothing to do. Like, what stupid world do we live in that you get into an argument outside of work, and like your job has to be investigated? It's so dumb.
Yeah, that's weird. Yeah, I'm a big believer that in the concept that you should, like whatever you do outside of work, unless it's a job where you're like the face of the place, that whatever you do should outside of work should not reflect in your job, right? Like that's your own personal business, right? Unless you're the face of a company, like if you're an actor or something, that you're the face of things, that's understandable at least, But if you work for like this, you work for a hospital, what is you doing outside of work off the clock? What does that have to do with anything?
But what you see, Alf, is that black women get treated badly by these neonatal centers, and it's because of evil white racist physicians' assistants that rob black male teens.
Goddamn evil racist. Working in hospitals for some reason in New York City, the most diverse city in the world. It's like you'd think if you were a racist working in New York City in a hospital, you would leave New York City and go move somewhere where there's more white people.
Is true, which confirmation is still pending, still trying to find the individuals who are part of this narrative on the other side. If it is true, it does prove, in my opinion, that Ms. Comrie had a good faith belief that she, in fact, had a right to the bike. But that doesn't mean the young men did not. It doesn't mean they did not have a good faith belief that the bike was not hers.
Okay, go ahead.
Where was this energy before, Rayshad? He was like, they thugs. This pregnant thug.
This pregnant thug. Can you imagine?
This pregnant white thug was trying to rob them. Like it was always the most rational position to have, no matter what, from the jump.
Mm-hmm.
Was always that this woman had a good faith belief that she had the
Mm-hmm.
bike.
I mean,
She was
one of the things we've talked about this is that how incredible it is that people like didn't even try to use Occam's razor in this, and I'm like, what seems more likely to you in New York City? A group of four young men or teenagers, I'm not sure their age, but four young men are trying to rob a pregnant white nurse of a bike, or the other way around? Which seems more likely to you? Which seems to be something that happens more often in New York? Do you think four young men robbing a woman is a pregnant woman happens more, or one pregnant woman robbing four young men happen more in New York City, right? Like it's so ridiculous to just
but
assume that,
but
right?
it's also like again, there's no way she was trying to rob them.
No.
Like
Mhm.
anything about her stealing the bike to get home. Like a physician's assistant in New York City, which is not even Manhattan or Brooklyn where she worked, which probably is more money because it's like more expensive part of New York City.
Mm-hmm.
Makes like a starting salary of like 130K a year or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like there was no chance she was stealing this bike. So
No.
we always knew for sure if we were like not being stupid
Mm-hmm.
that she had a good faith belief that she
Right.
had the bike, right? Now she could have been wrong and then like didn't like they were like really aggressive, so she got all emotional,
Yeah.
which normal people would say, look, she was pregnant, like she made a mistake. Let's
Right.
not make it national news."
Right.
But like now this guy's like saying, "Oh, it's way more unlikely." Well, it's way more likely that they did not have a good faith reason to believe they had the bike because of the way that they were acting. They're like calling her stupid, they're swearing at her, saying stuff about her baby. Like the guy comes in, the white guy that they try to cancel this guy and says,
Mm-hmm.
"Hey, just reset the bike and then you guys could take it."
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah,
And
there's a
he's like, "I'm
reason
not
why. Yeah, there's a reason why they didn't want to do that, even though that was the easiest solution. There was a reason why they didn't want to reset the bike, right?
There's also very like notable city bike scams that
Hmm.
happen,
No, I
which
was
are
seeing a lot of people are talking about this because of this, and I was seeing that actually that fat guy that was commenting, he posted up comments he's getting, and in a lot of those comments, even though he's saying it's bullshit and has nothing to do with the story, but in a lot of those comments, they're saying this is a common scam, and the guys like one of the guys are saying this happens to me all the time. In fact, that the station he goes to pick up a city bike, he says there's often a group of teens hanging out there trying to scam people out of bikes, and they come over once you scan it and they try to take it from you. Or another one is they have like a sticker they can peel off and put it on the wrong bike or something. So when you pay for your bike, it's actually unlocking theirs, and they take
right.
it and they scam you out of that. But
Yeah, and
it's
they
a
they
thing that
chop
there's
the bike
multiple
up.
scams going on about city bike stuff, and people act. There's actually groups of people just waiting around to scam someone. Like so. It's not like
Well,
it's unlikely that this would happen.
I pointed out that like fat white guy is like, "Oh, she acted so poorly." And it's like, well, she's like panicked, and there's
Yeah,
like,
and she's
maybe,
pregnant, and I'm over emotional from the pregnancy, right? Like, which is
and
normal.
well, it's like, yeah, you would act poorly if you're surrounded by dudes trying to rob you, but like,
Hmm.
Mhm.
um, it's also like she acted so poorly because
Hmm.
she she didn't say within this 90-second time window that this is my bike.
Hmm.
And they're like, but there's no comment on them swearing at her, getting aggressive with her, getting physical with her.
No, yeah,
Yeah.
their
Right.
Like,
behavior, everybody just quickly brushes under the table, right?
oh, and them the key thing that I kept highlighting in my recent video, the
Hmm.
Emma Vig one, is you can see the guy's hand is over, and I thought he was just there he's holding onto the
Hmm.
bike,
No, he's
but he
blocking
specific
the scanner
yeah
thing. Yeah.
the scanner, he's
Hmm.
blocking that so like she can't get it. So
Right.
it's like is that not suspicious?
Hmm.
Is that not
Yeah, nobody
interesting?
pays attention. But you know what it is? It's because most of these people making comment on this, they're not New Yorkers, and they probably don't live in major cities that have Citibank stations, so they have no clue how it works or how it operates, and then they put a comment about it, right? But then you have all these people who actually do know how they work and use them all the time, and they ignore those people, right? And they're like, oh, no, let's not listen to these people.
I just think that some people's perspective on things is just wrong on purpose. Like it made
Hmm.
me think of Lance. A while ago, Lance was making a comment about a woman that was ended up needing to have an abortion because her baby died from her meth use. And that Lance interpreted as the hospital literally killed her baby. What the fuck? It, like he totally misinterpreting the fact that no, that woman
Killed her baby,
killed her own
basically.
baby with
Yeah,
drugs.
with drugs.
But now in this situation, a woman that's pregnant, off a shift from the hospital, she's definitely stealing from black people. That's what the
Yeah.
narrative we're supposed to be believing.
Yeah, but it's also like it like the city bike thing is true. And look, I'll even go a step further. I'll make the crazy statement on Alf's channel because I won't face the consequences
Yeah.
for it.
Hmm.
But like the city bike thing is like a membership, right? That you pay
Mhm.
and monthly, and it's expensive. I remember I tried to like rent one on the fly, and I looked at all the steps when I was in college, and I'm like, I can't afford this. This is
Really? I didn't know that. I
ridiculous.
thought it was each use pay, like you pay
Well, no,
every
Mhm.
spot.
you pay each use, but you have to like have
But
a
you also
membership
have a
in order to.
membership. Oh, I didn't know
Yeah.
that.
So
Okay.
it's like I can't afford this. I'm like, this is a bicycle. Like, what is
Yeah.
this,
Yeah.
right? I don't think people who have city bike that aren't wealthy white people in New York City.
Mm.
Yeah,
That's right, I
probably.
said it.
You're probably right though, because I mean, I wouldn't pay for that. I mean, for that money that you would spend, you'd probably save money by just buying a bike, right? Like,
What's
I,
up,
I even
guys?
I even thought
hey,
I
what's
would
up?
get it. What's up,
Hey,
Devin?
Devin.
What's up, Devin? Um,
Y- Yeah, it's a fair point. I mean, if who could afford that bike
yeah.
just as disposable income, just like because if you're young and black, I mean, are these guys even old enough to be working? Are they in school? If they need to get around New York, they're going to use public transport.
Right.
Nine out of 10 times. I told this story to my dad today, and the first thing he said to me was, "If there are five guys, why are they getting one bike?"
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, "That's a good question. It's a
Yeah, nobody
valid
thought of
question."
that. Nobody thought of that one.
Now listen, somebody's gonna comment that like it's 1708 a month, like
Mm.
$17.08. But you know what? That's like Netflix, and we're talking
Yeah.
about teenagers. Like,
Hmm.
I felt
Yeah,
like this was too much for college.
Right? No, you're not wrong. When I was that age, I wasn't gonna spend $17 a month on anything. Like,
And you you
Yeah.
you
yeah,
also have to
I wanted
pay
that
for the
bike.
bike as well, too.
I think it's a deposit because I think they were saying you pay one, it takes $1 out of your card or out of your account, and then when you put it back, it puts it back, right?
Yeah, but
That's why her when she put it back, that's why the receipt says zero, because
yeah, but that's for
it charges
everything.
you
Like
back.
whenever you charge something on your credit card, if you
It
go to
gives you a dollar.
gas or whatever, they
Yeah,
always charge a
you
dollar.
always see the dollar pending on there. Yeah. Hmm.
I don't understand why they freaked out on the let's redock this thing, reset it. So
Because
if
they were stealing the bike, Devin.
right,
Yeah, if
but
they
if
reset it, they would have to purchase it
Pay to
again,
purchase
right?
it.
To check it out. And if they didn't purchase it in the first place, then they're not going to purchase it again.
yeah, I mean that because otherwise, if it is a dispute, first of all, why can't you just look at the person's phone and see
Hmm.
that it's the right one? Because this happens in like if you're on a train or in a freaking air, airplane and someone's in your seat and it's like, wait, no, I thought this was my seat. Oh, let me see your ticket.
Yeah, let me see your
I mean,
ticket.
how hard is this to like?
Yeah, but they didn't want to show it, right? That's why
No,
the other guy
but
was like, "Why don't you just take another one? Why don't you do this?" And nobody wants to
yeah,
do
but
Did
it.
you?
So.
Devin, you don't
Mhm.
understand. These guys fly Spirit by the
Yeah,
demographics, and it is actually the policy of Spirit when somebody says you're in my seat to say get out of here, stupid, and your baby's
mhm.
gonna come out.
Yeah, all that stuff getting a pass was really shocking. The
Hmm.
silence was deafening.
No,
But
as Sean was saying, everybody's criticizing this woman for her behavior. Even in the end, where they're like, "All right, maybe
mhm.
it was her bike, but she still behaved in this way," and nobody is giving any critique to how these guys acted, who were,
Yeah,
sat there saying they didn't give a shit if her baby died and all this kind of stuff.
I'm a Monday morning quarterback, and I have some thoughts and some notes about how you're supposed to have a breakdown and be overwhelmed and emotional when
Yeah,
you're 6 months
when you're
pregnant,
6 months
being
pregnant.
engaged in a robbery in broad daylight. Like, there's certain ways that I expect you to act.
Yeah, right. That's a
Mhm.
weird one too. Just like with the Rittenhouse thing about, oh, he's not really crying, and it's like, how do you know
I mean,
that? Like,
Yeah.
it's such a weird thing to say.
I
did you
saw a
guys?
Destiny clip that somebody was
Yeah.
sharing to attack him, where
Hmm.
he's like these people need to be forced to like watch it before they become commentators,
Yeah.
like
Mhm.
torture videos, because he's like they think emotion is like a movie, and I'm like
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe that's like an extreme example, but yeah, they think emotion is like a movie.
like a movie. It doesn't always work that way. People act very different every time.
Well, they were waiting for the scene to cut before the mood changed, like
All right, let me go back to this idiot's comment.
that part of the story is important too. Yelling, help me,
Did you guys catch Hassan's coverage
when
of it?
there's
Oh wait,
a
Devin,
conflict.
we're watching I'm
Oh.
live streaming and we're watching a thing to comment on.
Yeah, come in the
Richard.
thing so you can see it.
Yeah, if you
I see
watch along with us,
We got
we're
it.
commenting together.
Conflict over a bicycle in the middle of the street, and there's a young black male next to you. That could be a very dangerous situation for something that's basically a civil dispute.
Just pause this.
So while I will absolutely
A civil dispute.
It's now we're getting into the legalities of it. It's not a civil dispute. It's a bike theft. Like
Right.
it's a criminal dispute. Number
Mhm.
one. Number two. This has never happened ever in the history of ever. Like there is no unarmed innocent angel black person who was shot by the police because a white woman yelled for help when she didn't need help.
Yeah.
It's there's zero cases of this.
Mm-mm.
Like never. And like they go to examples where like nothing happened to the
Mhm.
black person and he was also in the wrong, like the, Christian Cooper, Amy Cooper thing in Central Park. And then they go back to like Emmett Till, which we've discussed a whole bunch. But yeah, it's never happened that the kid's been total or the person's been totally innocent and all that. Also, notice how the 5 black guys turned into one black dude right there.
Yeah. Yeah, the black male, it was like 4 dudes. Like, what are you talking about?
And also, number 3, his mustache looks like a pubic boomerang.
Somebody
I
left me
said
a
when we
comment.
first watched this, I said that it looked like he just finished eating out a butthole. And he's got a
Yeah,
little
his
mustache.
lips look like that's
poop
a bad
stain.
man's ass right there.
It's a poop stash.
Somebody once left me a comment that said that Rayshon Ritchie is non-white Sean King.
That is pretty good.
Slightly blacker.
Continue to update the story as the facts prevail. I will say there's a wisdom to being civil in all cases. To those who have been, let's say, threatening to this young lady.
This is what I'm saying. He's blaming it on this young lady not being civil. And it's like, what about the other guys? They were not being civil at all.
He's like, there's a wisdom to being civil in all cases. Rayshon, where was that when they were like saying F you to this woman?
they don't
Yeah.
care
calling her
about your
stupid,
baby
talking
and
about
Where's
her
the black
baby.
guy's wisdom and respect and
Yeah,
all that?
crazy, right? If the
And
that's
now
the
he's gonna say,
expectations
"Hey."
on her, not on him, on the guys, right?
He's gonna say, "Hey, don't be threatening this lady." It's like, Rayshon, you put out the name and face of her employer to get her fired. Like you encouraged this harassment. So this he's like, I would never condone this thing that I actively encouraged and called her a thug and all that. Also, and this is very, very crucial. Rayshon's ring is like the same exact thing as the thing he's wearing on his suit. Does anybody notice that?
Is that like a logo or something he's got?
I don't know.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
It's a big ass ring. Like what are you doing,
saying,
Rayshon?
Weird.
I would never condone that. Under no circumstance at all. Physical violence is not your answer whatsoever. Any gains you make because of physical violence
Pause it.
are not
Looks like he's
sustainable.
Like a white
Why did,
person,
why
right?
did he even bring up physical? There was
Oh,
no
yeah.
physical violence in the video, so why even bring that up?
Well, they're threatening the woman, and he's like, I didn't endorse the threats.
Oh, okay, I see what
I
you're saying,
just
yeah.
put out her employer's
Mhm.
thing and said she was attacking these boys and that she called for help intentionally to try to kill them.
That means somebody he actually cares to hear criticism from had critiqued them and said, "You're helping this woman get assaulted," and and you're kind of, so now he's trying to respond to that.
It's pure self-preservation. It's the lawyer came out
Damage control.
and he's like, we're gonna come after these people, and this is one of the most defamatory videos, his original one. So he's like, oh, I don't condone what is this word? Threats? Traits? I don't even know how to say it. That's how against violence I am.
Violence.
Yeah, so like his people were doing that because his video got 400,000 views and it was all positive before I dropped my video. Again, 13,000 likes to 100 dislikes on that previous video.
Wow.
That's nuts.
Because people believe this. So yeah, they were threatening her. I mean, NBC News went to her house. And then when she didn't answer her door, huh?
I said, that's insane. I can't believe they did that. They went to her
When they didn't answer her door, when she didn't answer her door, they then went to her neighbors and showed the video and said, "Wow, did you know a racist lives here?"
Oh my god.
Like, It's so stupid. And apparently people had been sending her photos of her door, like, other photos, like not just from NBC, saying that they're gonna like hurt her and all that from her
Wow.
inside her building. So they got into her building up to her floor. And that's why she left her apartment. So he's like, when I said she was a pregnant thug trying to get those innocent angel black kids killed, uh, some of you thought that was a call for violence or to harass her. Remember when I put out her job and said that she should be fired because she probably kills black women giving birth? Like, I didn't mean nothing
I
by
didn't
that.
mean none of that. That's not real. That's not what I meant. Oh, God.
Only the gains you make through righteous actions are. To the young men who are involved in this now very national narrative, according to the last report, they cannot be identified. Naturally, we know somebody knows who they are.
Lucky for them,
And
but what
they,
about the woman that's been
Oh, that's so funny. They have not been identified. You think that if they thought they were in the right, they would identify themselves and be like, "Well, look, we also have a receipt. Check this out." There's a reason why they can't be identified and why they're in hiding right now.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, they should
No.
easily be able to be identified. One of them, we heard one of their names in the video,
Yeah.
Hassan.
Mhm.
Yeah, and two of them you see very clearly in the video. Right? The one holding the camera, obviously, you're never gonna see.
But the
They are.
reason, remember, they didn't even put up the video. This video somehow got sent to that imposter edits account.
Yeah. Yeah,
I'm
I don't know
telling you,
how he got his hands on that, but
these guys, these guys are. We're gonna find out if they ever get identified, which the news media has no interest in doing so.
no, they're
Like,
not gonna identify.
if you're a black criminal, you can come forward on your own terms. If you're a white lady that's working a shift, then we're gonna track down your husband. We're gonna post photos of your dog, like, and freaking allergies of your other kids, what school they go to. But like, if you're a criminal, and you're black, they're not gonna do that. But if we find these kids, what we're gonna find is that they film themselves harassing people with the city bikes all the time. I'm putting money on it.
Mm-hmm. It's like that kid in England that keeps pranking people, right? And doing
Yeah.
like douchey pranks
Going
that
to
are like
people's home.
border on being criminal. Well, he already got charged with assaulting a Jewish man in February, but he's pleading not guilty. But they dropped it. He was charged with hate crime, but they dropped it to just like a criminal mischief or something.
Right. I think that actually might be a fair drop because a hate crime is intent, and he's doing it for a
Right.
viral.
Yeah, he was saying, he pleaded the argument that I'm not just doing this to Jews. They just happen to a lot of them just happen to live in my neighborhood, but I'm just pranking everyone in my neighborhood.
He went with the "I'm a total asshole for viral clout."
Right, right. I'm an asshole to everyone.
if you feel as if it is necessary in order to place your side on the table and you are authentic about your belief that this was your bike, speak up. And to the company, well, listen, at some point, naturally, you got to provide the goods. The attorney is going on national news. He's saying that these confirmations are there. News outlets are reaching out. We do expect a full update as far as what actually transpired. And lastly, as I said before,
like it's gonna turn out to be something different than these guys are trying to take that bike from a pregnant lady, right?
Ray Shot's like, city, or he doesn't even. He for some reason he doesn't understand that city is behind the city bike.
Mhm.
So just pause for the intellect behind that. But he's like, to this whatever random company.
Random company. He doesn't know who Citibank is.
He just said the company, like it says it on the chyron right in front of him.
Right
but,
in front of him.
But he's like, the company. He's like, so he wants them to provide something that says that they that these guys rented the bike shortly around, and they don't even care if they have their actual account renting the bike. They just want a rental for the love of God somewhere in and around the time period,
like, please
so that
show
they
something.
can, yeah. But he's like, please come forward. Come on, young men. Like, all they have to do is come forward and be like, that lady racist, not prove anything. And Rayshad will be back into spearing her.
Yeah, he'll totally buy it and be like, aha, I knew it.
But like, again, it's very telling that like the immediate assumption, despite the fact that these black kids were not accusing her of anything because they've never come forward, was she was robbing 5 young black teens. And
Yeah.
now it's like, okay, I believe that she had a good faith. Now that I see the receipt that proved this beyond any shadow of a doubt, I believe that she may have theoretically had a good faith assumption of this bike. But that doesn't mean that the guy's calling her stupid and shoving her and trying to push her
Yeah.
off the bike. And,
Yeah. Never mind all that stuff.
yeah, that doesn't mean that they had a bad faith reason, because
Her good faith belief does not negate their good faith belief that they were in the right too. All right, Waz.
But they're not even. That's what's funny is they're not even claiming they're in the right because they haven't come forward at all. So it's so funny to think this.
How shady is it?
Yeah.
Explain to me the attention this has gotten, why you wouldn't come forward, and explain your side of it.
At this point,
I mean,
you would, right? You'd expect them to come forward and be like, no, we're not. We didn't do anything
I-
wrong.
I
But the
can't wait for them
babies,
to
they
come
didn't do
forward.
nothing. They need everybody else to pay for them. They didn't do.
I can't wait for them to come forward and we find out that Hassan from this video had 5 arrests for city bike theft.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, exactly. But if he comes forward, you get one question with the guy. You go, show me your phone, show me the app, and show me when you rented a bike. Like this is a 2-minute investigation.
Yeah. Or even show me you even have a Citibank account or a Citibank account. I mean, same company.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And if he does, then okay, that explains it. You're still in the wrong. You were still a prick to a woman.
Yeah.
I mean, you still handled it like a total jackass. So, and it's like it doesn't matter. He's saying right there, the guy thought he was in the right. That's a very generous take on this. But let's say he did think he was in the right. He wasn't right. So you're in the wrong. So you're still to blame. It's like,
And then you would expect to be like, hey, kids, so why don't you guys come out and apologize to this poor lady that you did this to?
But
since they're in the wrong.
the audacity for him to say, with no side, no evidence, no nothing, and
Yeah.
counter evidence, that
No,
they probably had a good faith belief that they were in the right, when he did not grant that assumption 2 days before and assumed that the pregnant white lady was trying to rob them and was assaulting her own fetus by trying to rob them.
Yeah.
And they would have been justified in sucker punching her.
But
Like,
Sean,
to defend their property.
it's not the audacity of them, it's the caucasity of them.
The Karenicity.
The Karenicity. Yeah, like the words
So
that
if-
this guy uses.
if I'm at a red light or it turns green, I think it's red, and then it turns red, and I think it's green. I'm just like colorblind. Not even colorblind. I just made a mistake, but I thought it was a green light. It was red. I pull out. I hit a car. Does it matter that I thought it was a green light? No, legally, financially, you fucked up.
The cop is going to say, oh, you didn't write. Okay, I'll let you go, right? Like, it's my
So-
fault because I didn't realize that you didn't realize.
Look,
That's-
it matters in terms of intent. Like, so if there were actually police involved and if they were actually charging people or whatever, then it would matter in terms of intent if you're trying to charge theft, because it could just be a mistake.
Yeah, right.
Which, by the way, ever
No.
that she was trying to steal the bike from the 5
No,
black
that's ridiculous. It was,
And-
for a second I saw
yeah.
that, I was like, this is so ridiculous to think.
And the funny thing is, let's say she was a bike thief. Let's say this woman planned this, premeditated it, has no receipts, and she was just trying to steal a bike. How do you explain or rationalize the uproar about a singular theft in New York or anywhere?
Yeah, total
Like,
common
I mean-
occurrence. Who cares? Right?
Right. So it's like, wait a minute, you're going to talk about theft in New York, and that's the case you want to talk about and like post about? There's literally thousands of times black people are stealing stuff in New York that you would be silent on. So it would be completely crazy to highlight it. Now, of course, she didn't steal it, but
it's even worse, because like what we're down to, like, it would be one thing, like a theft is like a crime, like that's a thing that happened, like theoretically, not in this case, but a theft happens, right? Like, so if a white person steals from a black person, a thing is stolen. But what they're upset about is that a white person argued with the black person. Like, what's the Central Park Karen about? That she argued
yeah,
with the black
conflict,
person.
any conflict.
Like the barbecue lady, like these ladies call, like if you're barbecuing in a park, like it's happened to me so many times, like where you have a busybody neighbor that like calls the police because you're doing something without a permit. It's like petty neighbor disputes and arguments have become like national news.
Yeah,
even
for
because
what? It makes no sense.
because there's never like a crime that they can go. Like they automatically assume that any crime a white person commits against a black person is racist.
Has to do with
And
race.
it's still not enough when like you don't even when you just grant in every single one of those as automatically racist without any evidence. So now they're down to arguments. You can't argue with the black person who's trying to steal your bike, by the way. And like even when we know that she was in the right, it's like, well, the way that she argued, like she
Hmm.
didn't say the exact phrase I wanted her to say in this isolated clip that was published by a Twitter account that is known for defaming people like
Mhm.
that are white. Like she didn't act right.
Yeah, it's pretty sickening to look at it. And you think of Martin Luther King and judging people by the content of their character, not the color of their skin. A very rock solid statement to be known by. Like that's the most non-racist, like post-racial thing you could possibly say, and it's thoroughly grounded, and it's what white people have been living by this whole time anyway. Like, how do you think we judge each other? Hey, all you minorities, there's a bunch of Latinos in here, guys. Don't be scared. Don't clutch your wallets. How do you think white people judge other white people? By the color of their skin? Nope, that's kind of redundant. We're a little bit more sophisticated than that. We judge them on the content of their character, their actions. Who the hell are they? What are they doing? And so we take that same standard, we apply it to every other race. It's just they're not doing well on that standard. And they pretend like, no, you're judging me or you're criticizing me because of the color of my skin. And it's like, nope, it's the content of your character.
Yeah.
We're judging you for the same reason we judge anyone else.
Yeah.
In the
If you
same
told
way.
me if you told me a black professional woman who is
Man.
6 months pregnant, got off a
Mhm.
12-hour shift at a neonatal center, is wearing scrubs, walked up to 5 white teens to rob them of a rentable bike that she had a membership for, I would not believe it. Just based on the men and women
Exactly.
thing. And by the way, black women commit way more crime than white women. But just based on the men and women thing, I would not believe
Right.
it.
So you're saying
36-year-old professional woman, married, has 2 kids, is pregnant with a third. Like now, if
you're
you told
saying
me that these guys yelled at her, sweared at her, and like said that her kid was going to come out like retarded, and all the things
Mhm.
that they said, like I would say that's not acceptable behavior, even if you think you're in the right. Like you can work this
Yeah.
out. The guy comes in and says reset the bike. I'm like, just reset the bike. It might be annoying, but reset the bike, and then give her the bike. By the way, you go grab a different one.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, be a
she's right.
gentleman, right? Be a gentleman in the situation. Just give her the bike and go get another.
Yeah, like but I would not believe. But the thing is, that would only be national news because the white people were like all of a sudden every behavior that we're ignoring would be would be would be the story, and every behavior that they're highlighting would be completely ignored and excused and all that. And like the white guy coming in to say, "Hey, reset the bike," would be there because he hates the black woman, not because he's trying to like that white guy would still be a villain unless that was a black guy trying to reset the bike. I remember the mayor was like the white people came in like violent pit bulls in this situation. And like you show the video. Yeah, that's in the original Rayshon video.
Oh god.
You show the video and he's like, "Hey guys, just reset the bike and then you don't have to fight."
Yeah.
He's like, "I reset it. It's on my account."
I remember busting a tweet that said, 100% this white man was calling 911 while he was on the phone. And then I posted the news article that says there was 0 calls to the police department about this.
who was I watching? I was watching some video, and it was talking about the Central Park woman calling the cops, and they're acting like she's calling for her white supremacy backup. So calling the NYPD is like calling the Klan.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
And it's like, are you aware of how many minorities are part of the NYPD? Not to mention the white people in the NYPD are not just auto racists because they're white.
Yeah.
I mean, it gets down to that. They're just like, if you're white, you're basically a villain
Yeah,
until you
that's where it
prove
goes.
otherwise.
That's where they
I
want it.
just want to point out that the NYPD is actually one of these departments that demographically matches New York City.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, of course.
So even the claim that they're loaded up with whites is just not true.
No way. No, yeah, how many times have I been to New York City, and it's like I constantly see police of every kind of race, Asian, Hispanic, Indian, but see them all. Let's get on the leash.
Here.
This is a story that's near and dear to me as a
Black
native
up.
New Yorker. I try to tell people that there's a level of discernment that kind of comes with being a New Yorker, right? You are interacting and dealing with.
This guy
With being
is
a
saying
New
that
Yorker.
he says you need a level of discernment in a story where his discernment led him to believe a pregnant white woman was robbing 5 black dudes. Like, I think you paused it on the perfect spot because he looks like he's like chewing on his tongue because he's so stupid. Like, I'm a native New Yorker.
So many people every single day. You need to learn who's who and what's what. I think that's why there was such a viral nature of the Jordan Neely situation on the train, where
Who's who and what's what? Like, who's the thief in this scenario? 5 black kids for 1 bike or a pregnant white woman.
Yeah.
You gotta know and accessify it.
It's very hard to figure that one out. I don't even
And by the way, he pivots to Jordan Neely, which is another BS non-racist case at all.
That they're just assuming race on there.
We're like, it's actually amazing, the Neely case, because they just like, it's like a Stalin painting where they photoshopped out the black guy. Like, that helped him restrain him and the Hispanic dude.
Yeah, they just completely ignored that there was other people involved, right? They just leave it to the white guy and the black guy. That's why you've seen people kept making that comment, and that's why you see people now calling for them to arrest those guys too. But they weren't initially.
that young man was killed for basically no reason. Most New Yorkers can understand when somebody poses an actual threat, somebody who's just being loud. This lady, you know, being in the middle of the street, a crowded street, and saying, "Oh my God, help me!" Nobody's falling for that. You know what I mean?
Falling for
For the
that.
most part, nobody.
Wait a minute, they know that she's in the right. They know that it's her bike.
Nobody's falling for that. That's crazy.
Nobody's falling. So you cannot need help.
So
You cannot be a
that
victim.
she actually needs help, even though she actually needed help in that
I mean,
moment.
this is like literally blaming the victim.
Yeah,
You-
100%
for being a victim.
Victim blaming, yeah, totally. That's exactly.
But that's the
How
thing.
dare you get upset at how you treated me?
Yeah, like
That's the thing. He just watched like Rayshad Ritchie have to like back down from every point while also being a freaking weasel and trying to add ambiguity to everything that proves him 100% wrong. And he's like, nobody fallen for that. It's like, yeah, people fell for this stupid hoax that you're putting forward. I mean, again, right where they pause it, this is what I've been like circling in my video. His hand is covering the barcode. She's looking at his hand covering the barcode. It's like, he's blocking her from scanning this bike.
Yeah, for a reason, because it would show that it's hers, right? If she scans it, it'll show that it's that she paid for it ahead of time.
Ain't nobody falling for that. When has a white woman ever been victimizationized by a group of urban youths?
and think of the low expectations of blacks where if she calls for help because she's being robbed and the cops show up, why is this going to get into a mortal conflict? If the cops roll up and they go, all right, everyone, seems to be the problem? Why can't you just chill and just be like, oh, I think she's taking my bike. I rented this. But she says it's hers. This could be solved in 2 minutes, calmly and civilly. How is it going to turn into some sort of chaotic, situation where someone's getting killed? It's like now they're giving a pass. They don't expect the blacks in this situation to handle the presence of cops without freaking out and refusing to obey commands or resisting arrest if it comes to that. It would just be a conversation, but they'd come with a massive attitude, because they know that these things go south because they can't chill the fuck out.
Devin, what you need to understand is that there's a discernment that you have to develop.
Yeah, you got to know who's who. So if you run to a black person, you got to bend the knee, and even if you're being robbed by a black person, you got to shut the fuck up and know your role and just take the robbery.
Because if you call
take the L.
you're gonna get them killed, and that's worse. That's better. Well, that's worse than you getting robbed. So you.
And how crazy is it that she's a nurse, like a pregnant nurse? This is comically giving person who's like not gonna harm a fly. If she was some, I don't even know, like Wall Street tycoon, I guess she wouldn't be renting a bike.
Maybe
but
like
I
a
don't
big
know.
woman security guard or something.
They like to travel. They like to travel without a car in Manhattan.
She's a woman. For God's sakes, like go easy. Like what is the deal here?
Imagine imagine what I came up with. Like I'll let you guess. When I went to the Google machine and set the date before May 12th of this year, and search city bike theft, New York
Oh
City.
no. Oh
Imagine,
no.
imagine
Imagine
the
what you
results.
found when you did that. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well,
It's like there is a Jamaican woman that was talking about
Oh
how
yeah.
not all, but she will not be renting out to Black Americans anymore because they're her worst customers, and it's just not worth it. The damage
mhm.
that they end up doing to her property. And
Mhm.
she's like, I have people of all races coming to stay at my property. None of them give me this
Yeah.
problem the way that the Black
She's like,
Americans do. She's like, these people, they're
mhm.
treated like and given
And
a
meanwhile,
hand up to everything, and they expect that here. It's like it's
The
yeah.
disgusting.
And mind you,
Caribbean.
she's saying only Black Americans. She's saying I get Africans, I get Caribbean blacks come here. Everyone treats this with respect. It's only Black Americans. And she's like, there's only been, and this happens so much. She said there's only been 2 good Black American people I've had come.
Everyone else causes
They fight.
fights
Yeah,
and
they fight in the middle of the night. She goes, not with me, but with each other, and they disturb all the other
Caribbean
guests and shit. Like it's crazy.
Caribbean blacks keep it like really,
Oh yeah.
really
And
yeah.
now on Twitter, Black Twitter is all upset about that, and they're like, "Oh, this is her." They've doxed her
Her
Airbnb in
business.
Jamaica, and they're like, "This is it. Make sure not to give her any business." And I'm like, "You realize that she's asking you not to give her business?
she's saying
Yeah.
Literally saying, don't come here," and you're tweeting
For
out saying,
compliance,
"Don't give
it's
her
like
business." It's like
cherry on top
yeah,
compliance.
it's like you're
There's
giving her what she's asking for. Like you're pretty stupid. Like, it
there's
doesn't
like
make any
this
sense.
amazing fact about New York City that like the first black, like basically everything in New York City
Mhm.
has been like a black person from the Caribbean, like the
Mhm.
West Indies
Yeah.
or Jamaica or somewhere else.
Mhm.
And there's a point in history where they used to own like the corner stores,
Right.
and they would be robbed and attacked
Mhm.
and all these other things. So like, they know. But that's because they don't have the discernment that this man has.
Well, this guy probably hates the Asians in his neighborhood that run their businesses there.
Yeah.
That says, "Oh, you're running your business in our neighborhoods."
Nobody's falling for that. So I'm glad everybody was able
He's
to
like,
get out
"Get
of this
off me and then help
unscathed
me."
because, yes, there is a certain level of, this could escalate quite quickly. But I think most New Yorkers take a
I like he
pride
says
in.
that this could escalate quite quickly. Yeah, it could also escalate that these guys start beating up the woman, right, or something like that, because we've seen
Oh
that
my.
happen before.
I
It's
mean,
not like a
Right.
rarity.
I'm gonna do a video on that car theft where the pregnant woman gets out the car and the guy says, "Give me your keys," and she laughs like, "Oh, he's not serious," and then he shoots her 4 times.
Oh my god.
Right.
Oh yeah, you've shown me that video. Yeah, that's nuts.
Yeah, and she loses her baby 4 months. So yeah, it could escalate quickly,
Sure,
but not in the way
but
that
not
you
in
think.
the way you think.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Understanding the difference between your physical safety being at risk and
Yeah.
people disputing over a goddamn city bike.
Yeah. I mean, if somebody,
Give over
hell, if
to
I
his
was
given,
walking by,
right?
my first inclination would have been, is she getting robbed? What's going on?
Yes, she
Right?
was
That
getting
would have been
robbed.
my first
Yes,
thought. Like, what's
That
happening
is
over here?
that is the correct thought, Rayshon.
That
That
wasn't his
yeah.
first thought.
And your first thought would have been correct, but the problem is that wasn't your first thought. Right? That's so funny that he said that in the end there. Oh my god, hilarious. Let me see if I find this other video I wanted to go over real quick too, just so we can break down why this makes no sense in the sake of a subway that this never happens in there.
Oh yeah, that was a silly video.
Okay. Yeah, right here. Do you guys see it now?
I see
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. Okay. So this Lauren Witzke, I don't even know who she is, but it says the Jordan Neely British documentary is already here, and as usual, he's
Okay.
been replaced by a white man in Londonistan. Even though this isn't a Jordan Neely documentary, but I'm guessing this is a PSA announcement about some feminist woman's making about the troubles women have on subways. But everything in this is completely surreal
Yeah.
and would never happen in a subway in the way they portray it, right? And the other funny thing is all the women are minorities and the guy's a white dude. Like, right? So that's always funny too.
You
Yeah.
can't. Yeah.
In
There's some white
London.
women at the end, but like
Oh,
I've
you're
been
right.
on many London tubes, and
Mhm.
this is a farce. This is not
Right.
even at all. It's like,
Let me see if I can make it bigger.
look at this guy man spreading.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at this. Now,
Oh my God.
I already want to point out as a person who's been on subways a million times in my life, this doesn't happen. This only happens when the train is completely full. And then people use that to take advantage of the situation that there's no space to put their crotch by a woman, right? And try to feel them up or, put their crotch on their thighs or butt, whatever. But what they do is they use a full train to take advantage. Now, this train is full as in all the seats are full, but there's nobody standing in the aisles, right? So this would never fly. Anybody did this on a train, everybody would be like, what the fuck is this guy doing, right? Like, it would never fly. And you'd never see it. I've never seen this happen. Look at this. Look at that. It's hilarious. But look, there's nobody else around him, right? Like I'm saying, if this train was full, it would make sense that he's trying to use that to take advantage, right? And cover his tracks.
Alf, are you saying that skinny, borderline gay-looking white dudes do not just like thrust their crotch in women's faces in the tube?
On half-empty trains, yeah.
Look at him.
Look at this. What? And then he just says, what? Even though she didn't say anything. Who acts like that?
I can stand here.
Yes.
I can stand there if I like.
Here's the really funny part.
Did you just take a photograph of me? Did you just photograph me? What? That's assault. Photographing me without my permission, it's assault.
And
understand that?
And it may. Now, this is the part I find the most surreal out of all of this video, is if you took a picture of someone on the subway and then they go, oh, that's assault, give me your phone. No one would ever give the phone over to the guy. It's totally
You'd have to
surreal.
take it from me. I'm not going to just give it to you.
Yeah, nobody ever.
But Alf,
Especially an unlocked phone.
Yeah.
Alf, he's a drunk, effeminate-looking gay twink. So
And
they're very intimidating.
Their phones to
Yeah.
guys that are like that.
I mean, guys, let's get real. I mean, have you ever been on public transport? It's littered with just hooligan white dudes, man. Doing this shit. Like, didn't you see
we
the
were on a
Joker?
train one time where that did happen. It was a big group of hooligans.
Yeah,
dudes causing trouble. But then it ended up one of the guys was like, all right, guys, calm down. One of the friends.
And one of the friends were taking
No,
care of
I've seen this, but it's like it's like always a group of like men that can't be older than 23,
Yeah, it's like
and it has to be it has to be St. Patrick's Day or coming home from like a playoff game where they're like
Yeah.
drunk, and even then they're not like this.
You know what? That night it might have been St. Patrick's Day as well.
Yeah,
that
you're right.
night coming home.
They were all pretty drunk. Well, so the one guy was really drunk, and they were all trying to calm
Yeah.
him down. But yeah, this is.
But
so
even then, they're just being like they're being loud and annoying,
Yeah.
and maybe making like swearing and saying like maybe borderline sexist things. They're not thrusting in the face of random women.
No, and those guys were in the back of the train, not bothering anyone else on the train except being loud. But it's not like they were yelling at any specific people or bothering anyone else that were strangers. But in the end, this is completely surreal. Like Devin said, nobody's handing an unlocked phone to anybody. Nobody's handing their phone, period, to anyone else, to a stranger.
Give it here.
Give it here?
Your phone, give it to me. Give me your phone.
Or what? That's what I would have been like. Or what? What are you gonna do?
Hi, Bright.
The other funny thing I found about this, let me go back a second. The other funny thing I find about this is, why is this train so full of women? This like almost every seat is taken up by women, and there's only a few guys in here. But like, why is there so many women on this train?
I think it's to make the male presence more terrifying and ominous.
Right. Like it's other women in here, and they can't protect me because they're not men who are strong. You see, there's other men, but they're not focusing on them. They're all off camera.
Right, because if you had other men in the vicinity, it would be about why are these weak guys not stepping up and doing something.
I mean,
so,
which is funny because you do see there are guys there and nobody's saying anything. Like if I saw a guy doing this to this woman, I'd be like, "Oh, what? What are you gonna do if she don't give you her phone, bro?"
Yeah, but they're out of frame, and the point of the ad is to say we should all team up, even as weak women,
as weak women.
like to like record and like I don't know, dox and shame dudes, white dudes.
I have rights.
I have rights, but you don't have rights to ask somebody for their
I'm deleting
phone.
it. I'm deleting your assault. Do you understand? Yeah? See, you invaded my personal space, right? And I'm deleting your assault.
I mean, she's cuter than the other chick. I would have thrust my crotch at her face instead.
Okay.
There's like an elderly white guy in the background of her.
Mm-hmm.
That, like this guy's like drunk. He's stumbling. Like he could barely stand up straight. Like
Mhm.
any one of these dudes. Look at
Yeah,
that
yeah,
dude
there's a
that
guy
looks like
right here.
Jason Momoa in the
Yeah,
background.
yeah,
Yeah.
It's like a big, tough-looking dude with a beard and long hair, and he's not even looking at the situation.
Like, Jason Momoa is like ignoring this.
Go fetch.
Here's another part I find surreal in you. I'm gonna show you when it comes up. She bent over and he didn't even look at her ass. But
Yeah, I
he's
thought there
sexually-
was gonna be a cat
but
call
he's-
there when
yeah,
she
yeah.
bent over.
But
too.
he's like sexually harassing women, but then he throws his phone and a girl bends over in front of him and he doesn't even check out her ass.
I was
Totally surreal.
waiting. I was waiting for him to slap her.
Yeah,
slap
yeah,
her.
yeah. So that's when I first saw this. I thought he was gonna do. I thought the point of him throwing the phone on the floor and telling her to fetch was for her to bend over so he could sexually assault her, but he didn't do anything. He didn't even look at her butt.
I was waiting for him
Mhm.
to grab her and then start barking because he said like fetch because this is so overplayed.
Yeah, this sucks. Andrew, look, there's a guy right here, standing right here where she's picking up the phone, and he hasn't done nothing.
This is like that shaving commercial where the black guy stops the white guy from catcalling.
Yeah, yeah, the Gillette. What? I remember that. There's the white woman to the rescue. White savior.
What? You can't be serious. Are you serious?
Do you
Huh?
notice her bag
Are you
says like
filming
women and it has pictures of all
Yeah,
women
of all
of
women.
all
Yeah.
races?
No. No. Well, then what's it?
Well, why did she say no?
What's that if it's not filming, mate?
It's Facebook Live.
Did you?
You're live on Facebook right now.
And then he gets scared. Like, what's the difference if you're live or she's recording it and gonna post it? Like, what would be the difference?
20 of my friends on Facebook
Oh,
are watching you.
You know why? You know what's the difference? Because if she was filming a film, we all know that he goes, "Let me see your phone," and then she has to hand over her phone, right? Just like the Asian lady.
Yeah.
Because for some reason, when a drunk white kid asks you for your phone, you have to hand it to him for some reason.
I do appreciate the narrative in here because like they have a Wi-Fi sign behind this
Mhm.
woman. Because my first question
4G.
was, how does Facebook Live work underground?
Yeah, underground. I guess they had to put those stickers everywhere to make it seem.
So like the filmmaker is paying,
Paying
there's
attention,
attention to detail.
I got you.
Me too.
Me too.
Me too.
Me too.
Our
Anna.
next stop is
That's
Northbridge.
the Me Too
Anyone's
movement.
interested.
Yeah, he got me too.
Anyone watching, I mean. And if there are any police in the area, that would be lovely.
I find this is another surreal part. If there's any police in the area, what illegal
the
thing did
charges?
he do? Yeah, he didn't do anything illegal.
Um,
Why would the cops come? They would be like, "Oh, there's nothing
No.
illegal here." Like,
He stood in too close of a proximity to a person.
yeah,
Yeah.
is that a crime? I don't know.
The police that are watching my Facebook
We're
Live.
not watching. Yeah, yeah. For some reason, all police are like subs to her
Watching Facebook
or
Live.
whatever, They're friends with her. And then it stops. So there's police there.
The hero is a black woman.
Why are the police there? What? So yeah,
Oh my.
how insanely dumb is that?
So
Makes no sense.
that's the fictional version that they all get behind. White guy, bad person, women, good people, black woman, superhero. But in reality, what we have is black dudes robbing people on trains out in San Francisco on the BART. There was a famous story where this was a string of attacks. They still go on now. And they didn't release the footage of it. And when asked, why aren't you releasing the footage? They said, we're afraid of what people will do with that information. And it might cause people to be hold prejudiced views against certain types. So they didn't think it was worthy to showcase to people the threat, like who is committing crime on these BARTs on the BART out there. So you hide that information and instead you showcase something like that, which is just like, okay.
That's wacky.
I mean, that's assault, isn't it?
And okay, so I'm gonna end the stream now. Thanks guys for watching. Thank you, Sean and Devin, for coming on towards the end and doing commentary. My subs always boost, my views always boost when you guys come on, so it helps. But thank you, and thank you guys for coming. Have a good night. And oh yeah, I'll be working on my new video soon, so watch out for that this week, by the end of this week.